broadcast. Okay, it should be streaming now. See if it worked. Let me know if it's lagging, because it doesn't look like it's lagging on this end, but hard to say.
Oh, here we go.
Is it lagging? It's just, yeah, it's a little behind, but it's good.
Yeah, but that's typical.
Yeah. Okay. So, gonna be discussing One Piece chapter 1086 spoilers with you guys. So, they're briefs, fools. I don't know if we're gonna have them or not.
Definitely not gonna have a summary.
Yeah, well, it
Maybe
depends.
not.
It depends on if another leaker does it, but the leaker that usually writes full summaries isn't going to be writing them. So, we're going to go over the spoilers that we have, and since this is going to be left up on the channel as a normal video, we're going to go over them now so you guys can watch it. Even though nobody's here yet, we'll just go ahead and go over it. That way it's here for you guys to watch it so you're not like bored. So basically, to begin, the chapter, is it titled that? Is it titled Five Elders? Or is this just full information on it?
It could be the title.
I don't know if it's the title.
I haven't seen anything about the title yet, I don't think.
Well, ultimately, Saturn is the warrior god of scientific defense. So, we learn about that, which is ironic because he's currently going to destroy the world's greatest scientist.
That's probably why they chose him to go, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, you know, if it was me, well, I'm going to read off the rest of these spoilers, and then I'll explain the if it was me thing, because I've already looked over them once, and I think that there would be a much more appropriate person out of the Gorosei to send to Vegapunk. I mean, except for the part of the irony, I guess. After this, the warrior god of agriculture, Saint Shepherd Jupiter, the blonde one. Warrior. Basically, it's just naming all of the Gorosei, their names and the positions, mostly. There's the warrior god now of finance, Saint Ethan Barone V Nasujuro, the bald guy with glasses. Warrior god of legal affairs, Saint Topman Valkyrie, the big mustache guy. He looks like he'd be a judge, but at the same time, he's not a very good legal affairs guy.
He also looks like the guy on the Pringles can.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we actually found... when we were making the thumbnail for this, I considered... I don't remember. What did I use in the thumbnail for this? Did I use him?
You used Danks. Also, you did use him, but
yeah,
he was
yeah,
in the background.
There was a picture I found where somebody had photoshopped an image of... what was his name again? The warrior of Saint Topman. You know, it's kind of funny because he looks like a Topman. But somebody had photoshopped him with a Pringles can. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna. Can I add things to the stream? Will it allow me to add
Are you able
an image
to?
right now? Because if so, I will email it to myself just so I can show them real quick. Because I didn't even think about actually showing it to everybody, but I kind of want to show it to everybody.
Let's do it. Hold on, let me see if we're lagging.
Alright, let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and add this. And for those of you guys wondering why this is a stream this time instead of a normal video, I just felt like doing a stream. I don't really have a good reason, if I'm being honest with you.
Other than just testing the waters.
Yeah, it's mainly I just wanted to do a stream and see how it goes. Oops. I'm gonna have to, I can't minimize that.
Ooh.
What the heck? So how am I gonna get to it then if I can't minimize that?
Ooh.
Oh, I may not be able to show you guys. Hold on.
That might be a problem.
I'd also appreciate if my computer would stop making noise. Oh, I can show you guys. Okay, cool.
Ooh, we buffered for a minute.
It happened. Hopefully it doesn't. It might be because I opened this, but hopefully that doesn't happen while we're actually like showing the video after. Okay, and it might be because I have this up.
Hold on, I'm trying to see if we're lagging.
we might be because of what I'm currently doing. Yeah, there's the image that I found for those of you who were curious.
Yeah,
Rather
a bit
fitting.
of a lag, just a bit, though. It's otherwise fine.
Yeah, well. Anyway, back to what I was talking about with the spoilers. So, the warrior god of legal affairs kind of looks, he looks the part, like you think, you could see him in like a judge gown, I guess, but at the same time, I kind of feel like he should be, you know, not that just because he sucks so bad at his job. I mean, let's be real. In terms of the One Piece legal system, what do we actually have? There's no innocent till proven guilty. In fact, and there's not even guilty till proven innocent. It's just guilty.
Immediately guilty.
Yeah, it's like
You
the
don't
second
get a trial.
Yeah, the second anybody accuses you of something, you're guilty. You just because they say so, especially if it's somebody with any authority in the government, just presume you're screwed. And for most crimes, it seems the punishment is not aliving. So I don't know. I don't even know why they needed somebody for this position. Emu very clearly was just like, yeah, anybody does anything that I don't like, yeah, you're done. Bye-bye.
How much does a One Piece lawyer get paid?
Probably nothing. They probably don't have lawyers because, they probably don't give you legal representation. They probably just imagine that. You end up on Eni's lobby, you're in court, and what happens? Oh, you're guilty because pretty much nobody's ever been found innocent on Eni's lobby. Or any other place that I assume there's got to be some other places where they do judgments, but it seems like usually it's just Eni's lobby from what the stories made it out to be. But like, come on, the One Piece world's pretty big. Are we really going to transport every single person who stole like a head of lettuce over to Eni's lobby for execution just to get trial by a judge? I mean, obviously not. Actually, no, that's right, because Tom's trial was actually on Water 7. Yeah, he had it on Water 7. I forgot. So yeah, I guess you have it on Water 7 and Eni's lobby and other places. So I assume, I guess they can do. But yeah, it was a boat. The judge came over on a boat from Eni's lobby. Yeah, so I guess it
was a boat court.
It's mobile court. I mean, I guess it's not that crazy considering now for a while we had Zoom court. So I guess not that crazy. Anyway, next, the warrior god of the environment, Saint Marcus Mars. Which one is Marcus Mars? Did they even specify which one that is?
No.
Okay, we're gonna have to use process of elimination here.
We have that picture.
Oh yeah, I do have that picture. I forgot. Okay, guys, so here, this is, since I've already named off, all of the Gorosei. There's a few more things that are actually about the chapter, but since I've named off all the Gorosei,
where's it at?
It's here somewhere. Is it this one? It's this one.
There we go. Can you make it bigger?
I'm gonna try. I actually don't know if I can. Ooh. Well, you can read it. YouTube lets you zoom in now. I assume you can still do it.
But I can't zoom in.
Give me 1 second.
Well, yes, I can.
But yeah, as it says, warrior god of the environment, St. Marcus Mars. Okay, so he's long beard man. He's the weird beard.
It's blurry. Hold on.
Check your settings. That's why.
Oh.
Yeah, he's the weird beard guy. So that's him right there. So yeah, we got Law. This is what I was talking about with the weird mustache. We got Saint J. Garcia Saturn.
His mustache is neat.
We obviously have Saint J. Garcia Saturn. We already know that. We have Blonde Dude, the god of agriculture, warrior god of agriculture.
To be honest, he looks more like a lawyer than lawyer guy.
Yeah, so I don't know if I should just leave this on screen or what for the moment, since in case people actually want to come in and see this. But
well, someone's here, but I don't think it's hurting anything just leaving it there.
Oh, well, welcome to whoever is here. But basically, yeah, so these are the names in the Gorosei. That's what it amounts to. And I kind of feel like it's a bit of irony, though, just that they would send the god or the warrior god of science to
I think it's
destroy.
Fitting.
I don't know. It just feels so.
Fitting.
It feels like it's so ironic because like the guy who's in charge of science is just coming to shoot themselves in the foot.
I mean, he would know how to handle that kind of thing.
I mean, they could all handle that kind of thing.
I mean, true, but he's the science guy. He would know how to handle science things better than the law guy.
Yeah, let's say you were going to send.
Honest.
Okay, so let's just say you were going to send somebody. Who's I don't know who's actually a good scientist. I don't know many scientists. Okay, let's just look at it from this perspective. So you're sending the warrior god of science to destroy science. The only science. I mean, it's not the only science. We obviously have like Judge and Caesar, but like the only science that matters. Like
yeah,
that.
I mean, I can see what you're saying.
Yeah, so like his one job is pretty much to just go and destroy his position. But then again, the One Piece world's like stuck in this age.
Maybe he's just supposed to regulate science.
I don't know. It's a really awkward state of the One Piece world because on one hand, they're more advanced in a lot of ways than our world, and then in other ways, they're like in the Stone Age. Or not the Stone Age, but they're like way back. Like they're like they're sailing around on wooden ships and stuff, and and obviously can't really date a Denden Mushi in a time period because they don't exist. But when it comes to like the firearms they use and stuff like that, it's kind of dated weaponry. They still fight with like swords and.
It's a little old, oldie.
Don't get me wrong, swords are cool and all, but it's like we don't generally do that. It's not like they're walking around with cell phones and stuff, so they don't have like smart Denden Mushis. Like
I mean, the smells, you could consider that.
I mean, they do have like CCTVs. Thinking about it, I guess they are relatively.
It's kind of similar.
Yeah.
If you think about it, you just can't go on apps.
Yeah, I suppose, but at the same time, you can tell it's like. I mean, I'm pretty sure they're like in Mariner year 1600 or something, if I remember right. So, anyway, let's go ahead and actually go over the rest of these. So, this is where it gets more interesting, is that Leloucia is to be destroyed by using a weapon made by Vegapunk. So...
Not a devil fruit.
Basically, that already happened. So, yeah, Leloucia was destroyed not by an ancient weapon, but by Vegapunk technology. So, Vegapunk... Now it makes more sense as to why they sent so many ships as well as a Gorosei and an admiral down there. It makes so much more sense now.
He's a dangerous man.
Yeah, it makes a lot more sense because like let me get this out here. It's going to bother me for a moment. If anybody asks to see it, I can show it.
Oh, the picture?
Yeah. Okay. Basically, he's literally created something that can destroy islands. But at the same time, I guess in terms of... I mean, it's kind of over-exaggerated, I guess, when you think about it. Because I guess they do have weapons in real life that could destroy islands. I would say... I'm not going to directly say what, but it should be impliedly obvious. I mean, if you look up Bikini Atoll, and you might have an idea of what I'm talking about. The history with that. But overall, it's also crazy because it's like so... like extravagant, like this weapon from the sky, which I guess we do have stuff similar to that in real life.
I mean, yeah.
I guess we could theoretically drop one of those from the sky now. I guess satellites are a thing, but I mean, whatever Vegapunk made is obviously some crazy sky weapon, and like, I don't know if it can do more. I do find it ironic though that it fires 16 shots, like the 16 holy bullets. I mean, that's just interesting to me because like, why would Vegapunk purposefully use that as
maybe it was requested.
It's such an odd request. I mean, maybe not if you're like a religious, like, saint, like if you're like a celestial dragon or something. Maybe not. Well, if you're like the Gorosei, obviously you're religious. I guess your god would be Emu or something. I don't know what they worship, but it kind of makes sense, I guess, that they would want that. But why would Vegapunk... Like, if they didn't ask for that directly and Vegapunk just incorporated it, what would be, like, the reason, I guess? Or maybe it's just irony. Maybe Oda just put that in there as, like, just a thing by chance. Or I don't think it was by chance. Probably just a thing to do. Maybe some sort of representation of something else.
I'm sure there's some kind of meaning to it.
Probably. Anyway, other than that weapon, which we're going to come back to, there was a Saint Emu from the Nerona family among the first 20 founding rulers. So, there's that. That's interesting because I don't think we've ever been introduced to that one, the Nerona family. I'm pretty sure that's brand new.
I don't remember it if we have.
No, we definitely haven't. The Nerona family is brand new, so yeah. that's apparently his family. I don't know the significance of that yet. Maybe it'll be elaborated on the chapter. Hopefully it's elaborated on the chapter, because if they just say the name of the family but don't explain anything about them and why they're significant, then I guess we're just going to be left guessing.
It'll probably be explained at least a little bit.
Yeah, it's going to be more guessing than you guys would probably like when we get to the end of this. I have some other news if you're not already aware. And finally, St. Mosgard is sentenced to death by the Holy Knights. We see their leader, too, from the Fagarland family.
I don't like that one.
So, obviously, the leader is related to Shanks. It doesn't say who the leader is, just that the leader of the Holy Knights is indeed from the Fagarland family. It doesn't say Shanks, though, so I'm assuming that must mean it's not Shanks.
I think a lot of people assumed that it was a family member anyway.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's Danks. Or maybe it's just Shanks' dad or his brother. I mean, I don't know. I feel like it's going to be blue-haired Shanks or something.
That'd
like,
be great.
I genuinely
I'd
feel
love
like...
that.
I feel like that's going to be it. I feel like this is going to be probably, like... I mean, I can't imagine what else Oda would do here. It's got to be at least somewhat similar. But then again, he could just...
Unless it's just an identical twin.
I don't know.
Without the scars.
I guess. It would just be weird, though, because, like, why else would he use a cutlass? Like, is it just a Fagarland thing that they all just genetically are like, give me a cutlass when you're, like,
do they
born?
come out of the womb with it?
That's what I was about to say. Like, when they're born, do they just get handed a cutlass and say, here you go, buddy?
It starts little, but then it grows as they grow.
Oh, so we're like Odin's sword, like Enma. It can just grow with the wielder.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah, so there's also a thing at the end here. Jupiter. Why is it explaining how to say words?
It's showing that the names that have the planets in it, it's showing where they are actually located.
Got you.
Because some of them are spelled kind of funny.
Okay, that makes
I guess
sense.
they thought we needed.
So yeah, they're all named after
explained.
planets then. Okay. They're definitely all, as we assume, named after planets, and they're called warrior gods.
Oh,
So-
one more thing that's not on the list. We will see seraphim versions of Crocodile and Gecko Moria.
Yeah, I forgot about that. We will be seeing them apparently coming up. So yeah, look forward to that. If Crocodile is a little girl, then I guess Crocomom, maybe not Crocomom, but at least Trans Croc, or isn't Trans? I guess it's not really. Is it Trans? I don't know what you would consider that. Just gender swap Croc, gender band.
I would say gender swap because it's like a full.
Regardless, the people who believed in that theory, congratulations, you'd be right. But it doesn't say that here. So,
I'm gonna be honest.
I kind of hope so because I really want Crocomon to be real.
I just don't think it is going
It's
to
not going to be real, but I wish it was real. That'd be so funny.
My question is, why did they make a seraphim of Gecko Moria?
Why?
Yeah, why?
Because he was a warlord. I mean, he's like a wimp, but he's a I mean, he's not like... I don't know. Think of it this way. If Gecko Moria wasn't like trying to show off when he fought Luffy, like, obviously not Nightmare Luffy. Well, maybe. No, but if he had absorbed like... Because he absorbed like 1,000 shadows. If he just absorbed like 200 shadows, and he was able to hold that at like 300 or something, not like 1,000. Like, that was just overkill, just showing off.
Yeah.
Had he not have done that, he'd have been able to easily, you know, probably beat Luffy. I mean, he wasn't like he was really struggling that hard until Nightmare Luffy showed up with everybody else. And then Nightmare Luffy shows up, wrecks his day, Luffy loses it, and then they still win. I mean, I don't know. Gecko Moria's not really like... I mean, he did manage to do some damage on Ors Jr. after Ors was already beaten out. I don't know. He's questionable. I feel like he's not that weak, but, like, I feel like he's also stupid for, like, the stuff he's done, like, go straight to Blackbeard. Obviously got beat by Kaido. He was supposed to be, like... I'm pretty sure that he was supposed to be, like, a rival at one point, sort of, to Kaido. Sort of. And then he, you know, became lazy and depressed, and then he was no longer that strong. So, oh, how the mighty have fallen, I guess.
I guess.
Yeah, but long story short, Kaido...
The ghostly drumstick.
Yeah, Kaido kicked his butt, then Moria got sad, and now he's a wimp. And yeah, ghostly drumstick. I mean, there's that meme of Gecko Moria and Kuma standing next to each other when they were, like, having the conversation. Have you ever seen it? I don't really want to go trying to find it right this second. You know what? I kind of want
Should we?
to. I think I've shared it on the channel before.
I think you have.
Yeah, where they're standing there in a comparison like a
Yes,
fried
you
chicken.
definitely have.
That's a great meme. I like that meme. And I actually kind of want some fried chicken. And it's like actually like super early, like kind of like still like super mad early. So like I don't know, it's kind of a weird time to want fried chicken. It's kind of a weird
I mean,
time
we
to
have
even be
been
streaming.
awake this whole time, so it would kind of be like dinner.
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, I don't know. I got Kuma and Moria making me want fried chicken. Anyway, let's get back on the actual topics here. So basically, with the whole thing with Vegapunk, it makes so much more sense now that they would want to send like a warrior god, like a Gorosei of science to deal with science, I guess. Because I guess if you've ever watched Jackie Chan Adventures when you were younger, magic must defeat magic. I guess it makes sense if like, but at the same time, I still think the Gorosei are aliens. And I said this in the last video in the review of 1085, and I have a lot of reasons.
I think at this point I have to agree.
I think that Emu and the Gorosei are definitely aliens. People are coming up with this theory, right, that the Gorosei and Emu are the same person, right? And that since they are the same person, you know, that the Gorosei will do whatever Emu says, which doesn't make any sense because, I mean, you could argue that they're like satellites similar to Vegapunk, and that the naming scheme is set up that way because I don't think so. I think it's
I don't
set
know
up.
how I feel about that one.
It doesn't make sense that they wouldn't be named. They're named all the planets other than the planets the ancient weapons are referencing. So obviously their naming scheme probably falls in ancient weapon power class and not anything to do with the clones theory. I think that they're just really old celestial dragons that like are actually aliens that came to Earth with Emu. And it would make the most sense to me that during the Void Century he would invade, because as I said in the last video, if you haven't seen it, definitely go back and watch it. But I explained Emu likely came to Earth and is just a shape-shifting alien or something. And same with the Gorosei. They infiltrated royal families. They fought against the ancient kingdom. They took over the world from the shadows. Emus ruled from the shadows. There's like imagery, like with the world government symbol that matches up. I explained a whole lot of stuff in that video.
I really like it. I like it.
But ultimately, the thing that I wanted to, really pinpoint here is that Emu and the Gorosei, if they were the same person, it wouldn't really make sense that the Gorosei would be surprised that Emu showed up. Because if they were like feeling the thoughts that Emu's feeling, Emu would then be able to, like, they would know. Like,
yeah, they'd be on the same wavelength.
Yeah, because it's not going to be a setup. Like, obviously, Vegapunk does his thing through science. Because Vegapunk sends brain waves back and forth, like uploads, downloads data between the satellites. They all share a brain. But in the case of Emu, he's not using science if this is the case, which I don't think it is. He's using magic. I'm not even going to say magical fruit, because I don't think it's devil fruits. I think
abilities?
Yeah, I think that they are the opposite of devil fruit. I think that they cannot stand devil fruits because devil fruits are the dreams of people. And that just doesn't really make sense that they would want to use powers that were dreamed up by somebody else. Or even the dreams at all. Because they seem to be very against freedom in general.
Hold on, let me check and see if we're lagging. Let's do this.
I don't think it's lagging, is it?
Give it a minute.
No, it's fine.
Yeah, it's good.
But, where was that with this? You didn't make me lose my spot.
Sorry.
Basically, man, sorry. Give me 1 second. So, where was it? Oh, yeah. The thing with Emu and the Gorosei. So, Emu and the Gorosei, if they were connected, obviously, since it's magical powers, it's probably going to be like everything is connected. Like, they actually can, and I'm not saying that they're not, like, maybe able to speak, like, somehow telepathically or something. I'm sure maybe they could even use Wi-Fi hockey like Shanks at the very minimum.
I love that term.
I'm guessing, I kind of wonder what speed is Shanks Wi-Fi hockey. Is it like 5G?
Probably.
I don't know. But still, I'm sure that they could like speak to Emu through like, some sort of mental psychic powers, because if it is that type of setup anyway, then it'd be magical powers. I'm thinking like they would actually, since they're the same person, and Emu would have had to like split himself up like Demon King Piccolo or something. Emu would then have basically told them before he showed up through that feeling of magical power that Emu was about to come and sit his butt down on the throne. And Emu's obviously physical. I mean, like, when he sat down on the throne, there was a thump. He was able to eat the fire and stuff, so I assume he's physical. And as I mentioned, I did think at the time, when I made that review, that it's possible that Emu might just be silhouetted, right? Not silhouetted, sorry. Wasn't silhouetted. That Emu is actually a shadow person. But I've come around to, like, the idea that this is still a silhouette. Like, I figured that maybe this was actually the true form of the Gorosei and Emu, because they were, like, shape-shifting shadow creatures. But after speaking with someone on here and actually kind of going back, looking into it and stuff, I've come to the conclusion that, like, I don't think that that's the case anymore.
I mean, it makes sense. Oda wants to keep the suspense for a little longer.
Like, I do still think they're aliens, and even if they are aliens, it doesn't remove from the idea that they could be neurally linked somehow to some degree, but at the same time, it also doesn't mean they have to be, and they could just be from the same race. And I was guessing, since they're like shadow silhouettes and they look a little weird, they don't really look like devil fruits. I mean, they could be mythical Zoans, but they don't. Emu just looks not like, I don't know, it doesn't really look like a mythical creature I can think of. Some people were claiming Emu might be a dragon or something. I mean, there's already a dragon, devil fruit. I don't know. What more do you want Oda to do?
He doesn't really look like a dragon, though.
No, he looks more like, I don't know what the correct, he just looks like a demon. I don't know, like some,
like a lumpy one.
Yeah, like a weird alien demon thing. Like something you would think you would see in, like, I don't know, like Star Trek or something, which is, or I don't know, maybe not Star Trek. Like, I don't know what series I could think of that would make the most sense, actually. I don't know. He looks like something I've seen somewhere.
Similar lumpy creatures in Doctor Who, but not exactly the same.
That would actually make some sense, maybe, but I don't think Oda's watched Doctor Who, probably. I mean, he could have. I could be wrong. I don't know everything, so I don't know the man's personal life. So I know he likes sci-fi stuff, and I know that he did claim to reference a lot of material for this and was wearing a great alien mask in that reference. So that part is partially what makes me think Emu could be an alien, as I mentioned. But I don't think he's a shadow alien that, like, he might consume devil fruit powers or consume darkness, but I don't think that he actually does that, like, like, I don't think that's, like, his main shtick, I guess, if that's the right term. I just feel like his main thing is, like, he is probably still silhouetted, and he probably does have an actual detailed form, because apparently Oda's been keeping him silhouetted even in light, because he's been silhouetted in his normal form even in the past, like in the room with the butterflies and everything, the flowers. So you would think that with direct sunlight hitting him, we would actually get to see him.
Nope.
And it's possible that maybe, maybe this is his true form, I guess, but it also is possible Oda's just trying to keep suspense and has kept him silhouetted on purpose. But then again, if this really was his true form and the other's true form, it kind of works. Because it's like, Oda could have just kept him silhouetted the whole time, and nobody would have been the wiser, Like,
maybe that's just what he looks like.
That's just what he looks like, because he's silhouetted all the time. That's like, getting stopped by, like, the police or something and, like, doing, like, some weird accent. I don't know, you don't talk like that all the time.
Like you're British?
Yeah. Or you go to the grocery store and check out and say things some random way. They don't know. That could just be you. They don't know your life. It's kind of the same thing here. But, yeah. So, it's kind of going to be a big chapter, from what I've understood. You guys, when it comes out, definitely read it. Obviously, we're going to do a review on it.
Whether it be a video or a live stream, we're not quite sure yet, but we'll figure that out.
Yeah, not really positive, but yeah, it's going to be something big here, because I think that, I wish they would do a full summary here, but I feel like that's not going to do this justice. But at the same time, I wish they would do a full summary, because I feel like these brief spoilers are not like they usually are. Usually we get, like, an idea of what actually is going to happen in the chapter. Instead of getting ideas of what happened in the chapter this time, we were just given information, and it almost makes it seem like the chapter, and what I mean by information is, like, just like literal
Names and
info.
stuff.
Yeah, like names of people and where the weapon came from. The only real plot we get, which doesn't really put a whole lot of the rest of the chapter together, is the fact that Mosgard, who does not deserve it, free my man's Mosgard, free him, he's sentenced to death.
Sad.
And that the reveal of Shanks.
He's the only celestial dragon that I actually like.
Yeah, well, rest in peace, Mosgard, because I don't know who's saving him. And I'm sure it ain't going to be Luffy, because, I mean, he might get saved. I don't know, maybe Luffy, maybe the Grand Fleet might help somehow, because they do kind of owe him a thing or two, I guess, now, for the twice now he's took credit for them.
Wouldn't it be cool if he ended up joining the Grand Fleet instead of perishing?
I mean, that would be awesome, but no. I mean, at the same time, he's not going to do that. Like,
I mean, yeah, I know.
I mean, maybe. I don't know. He might run off and do that, but what good does he do? Because I don't think he's, like, a powerful fighter or anything. I mean, I guess he'd be good for, like, inside knowledge on the Celestial Dragons. You know, actually, yeah, that would be really good. I don't know if Luffy would, like, particularly care until... I mean, obviously, when Vivi and Luffy are both given the information by Sabo about the name, you know, what D means, Luffy probably still won't care. He might care. He might care just because it involves Vivi. And in a way, it's kind of like, you know, say, like, if the D's were, like, from Alabasta, like, some sort of nativeness to it, it would have been like Luffy was protecting his own homeland or something.
Unless it's more than just that.
Wouldn't it be interesting, though, if Alabasta, at one point, was at least, like, part of the Ancient Kingdom or something? Like, I still have, like, I made a theory video a while back regarding some stuff with Vegapunk, and this theory video, I had this really long, drawn-out theory I had come up with.
Oh, yeah.
That still kind of stands to a degree. Actually, there's nothing really that I can think of that I said that is disproven at this point, actually.
It hasn't really fallen.
No. So it's still actually a live theory. I made it a couple months ago. But, that was before we know what we know now. But, at the same time, I still think that Shandora is going to be, like, a huge thing for Vegapunk's limited or free unlimited energy to the entire world, because I know Vegapunk, obviously, as you said, he wanted to achieve that, and there is a theory, if Oda was drawing into these sorts of conspiracy theories and stuff like that, there is a theory that makes sense that he could draw from to supply unlimited free energy to the entire world, and he's also drawn a golden pyramid, and the bell would make a good indicator. I mean, it's a long theory, but if you're really interested in understanding the theory and, like, the stuff behind the idea and how it would actually work, if you look up Nikola Tesla's Wardenclyffe Tower and basically you look at the Pyramid of Giza, which is where Tesla got the idea for Wardenclyffe Tower, then all of a sudden it somewhat makes sense. Especially, the only difference that is really there is that Oda made the whole pyramid gold instead of using, like, an electrical insulator. But considering that Enel exists and that Bell is there, I mean, it would make some sense if it were somehow, like, you know, the case there. And it also, it's really ironic because in Alabasta, okay, so the name of Shandora, obviously, is Shandor. So that's the City of Gold. But it's interesting because in Alabasta, there's a river that runs straight through it. And the name of this river is Sandora. It's one letter off. And if you were to somehow take Alabasta, place it into the eye of the skull that is Jaya, with Upper Yard and everything put back together, and you were to fill it in with that, that river runs straight to Shandora. And it's interesting because that river's necessary, because for the theory I was talking about to work, you would actually need that river to be running to create, like, underground aquifers, and so you need, like, actual water, at least to some degree. You would need water to, like, supply underneath the pyramid, because the real life pyramid is built over aquifers with, like, copper and iron rods, the Pyramid of Giza, and that's how it was supposed to operate, but the pyramid's actually broken. If you apply a frequency, I think it's like 200 to 400 hertz of radio waves to the pyramid, it vibrates and can make electricity, and if it had a gold cap on the top of it, it would disperse it out to the entire world. And since the aquifer is going to be ringing that same frequency because it's the frequency of the Earth that would supply the whole world free energy. Suddenly makes some sense. And the same thing, I mean, you could argue too that you could somehow use an owl's power to power it or something like that. I mean, or some people have the idea it's gonna be Luffy's fruit. I mean, there's a whole lot of ideas here with this.
I really like that theory.
But there's one last thing I actually want to go back to before I go off on any more free energy tangents with Vegapunk, because I really like the idea behind that. And there's a lot of stuff. I mean, it could just be coincidental, but like there's so many things with like what Oda has done in this series that you can compare to like real life certain conspiracy theories and things that aren't so much conspiracy but are just like fringe science or something like that, on top of all the goofy pirate stuff and the lore like he based on actual pirates and the serious stuff. There is a lot that you could really go off of in real life that you could, you know, actually come to a conclusion of like, okay, I could see how Oda came up with that.
Find the references.
Pretty much. But if you go to if you go back for a second and you go back to what we were talking about here and you take a look at what the Gorosei are supposed to be, it kind of makes me wonder, what exactly do they do? So we literally have a Gorosei that is a god of agriculture. Does he have a farm?
Hey, maybe.
But he never leaves his couch. Does he even know?
Maybe he has a greenhouse?
I feel like the Gorosei god of agriculture would be the, like, I feel like what he would do is, you know that video I saw of Ty Lopez where he walked up behind the horse and just patted its butt? I feel like he would do that because I feel like he's never actually been on a farm or done anything with agriculture. I feel like he knows nothing about farmland, like about land in general. I just don't feel like he would know. Because, I mean...
it's his job.
He lives on Mary Joyce and just... I mean, then again, he's been alive, obviously, for like 800 years. At this point, I'm pretty sure it's safe to say, at the bare minimum, Emu is immortal. At free balling it out and just really throwing it out there, saying at the maximum, the Gorosei are immortal. As well as Emu. But Emu very clearly was around during the Void Century. That much seems to be, like, pretty much confirmed at this point, I'm pretty sure.
Could be a descendant.
Well, there's something else interesting with Emu's name, too, that we saw. Like, Emu's name being Mu. Like, him calling himself Mu. Him calling himself Mu in the third person, meaning, like, void or nothingness. That's weird, I guess. But at the same time, he's clearly there. So I kind of just wonder if there's, like, another reason he would call himself that.
To be edgy?
Maybe.
Perhaps?
That's actually what I was just thinking. Maybe it's, like, an edgy thing where, like, he wants to, call himself Mu because he feels like he's so empty inside or something, but I don't know. Maybe I don't think that's gonna be it. I think maybe the actual theory with the shadow alien is, I'm not gonna totally rule it out, but I think it's weaker. But at the same time, yeah, if Oda de-silhouettes them at any point in the coming chapters, I admit defeat on that entirely.
But we'll just put a pin in it for now.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say that it's totally wrong. I'm not gonna say it's impossible. But I'm not going to say I'm, like, totally shooting as much for that theory as I was. But I'm just saying if it is the case, and they are just actually shadow alien creatures from wherever. I don't know where Odo... I mean, there's so many different places. The Automatons exist, so, I mean, you know, and the Lunarians exist. There's options, clearly, for people to come from outer space, or aliens to come from outer space to Earth in the One Piece world. So... it's not that far-fetched, but, like, if, say, that advanced civilization that fought Emu, like, say that they went to this fight, right, and ultimately Emu, he ends up, you know, winning and everything. He just goes into hiding or whatever, but he's doing this under the guise of, like, a silhouette thing. Maybe he can shapeshift, like, the Gorosei into, like, an actual form when he was doing all of this, because clearly he doesn't want people to know that, but he still goes...
Do you think his main form is his real form?
No, I think the shadow form that we see is his real form, because he has no reason not to be in that form. Or maybe his other form is, I don't know, I guess either one could technically be. But,
maybe he could take other forms as well.
I mean, yeah, it would be interesting to see, though, if he really is just, like, some shadow deity. I don't know, I guess we'll probably find out eventually. Because at some point, at least with the Gorosei, we're going to Here's where we're gonna get the answer, because this is where the answer is gonna come from. When Luffy confronts Saint J. Garcia Saturn, the now known god of science, the warrior god of science, that is where our answer is gonna come from. Because we are going to get a face-to-face confrontation in a direct conflict with the sun god. Oda is not simply going to, like, ignore the fact that we have to kind of know if this is a shadow being or not. At that point, he can't keep him silhouetted in his transformed state. And if there is an actual appearance aside from just a shadow creature, that would mean that Emu likely has an actual appearance as well.
Makes sense.
Yes.
We got a chat.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
But, yeah, so that's about where I'm at with that. That's what's probably going to prove or disprove it. Oh, and one last thing. Now that we've actually gone over all the spoilers, something I forgot to mention, and I know you guys are ultimately going to be upset over this, but, yeah, Oda's going on a month break.
I mean, it's for a good reason. He's getting a astigmatism in his eye fixed with surgery.
Yeah.
To be honest, I wouldn't be mad if he took more than a month to recover.
I wouldn't be mad at him no matter what, as long as he does finish the series at some point.
Because he's not getting any younger. He's got to take care of himself.
I mean, yeah, obviously. Like, I don't know. I feel, because the guy works so much, like, I feel genuinely bad that he has, work. I mean, I don't feel bad, because the guy is also swimming in money, but at the same time, it's not worth his health. Like, I don't know. It's interesting to see that, somebody could still be working this hard after all these years and, like, not want to slow down. It seems like he's doing the opposite. Spoilers so good. I just got here. I fell to my knees when I heard about the month break. Yeah, I hope so too.
Yeah.
I'd like to see him come back, but I hope that he actually, like, gets his health kind of in order beyond just his eyes from this.
Astigmatism surgery, what does that entail?
How the heck do I know? I mean, I have, like,
you have astigmatism.
Yeah, but I didn't even know there was surgery.
Oh.
Let's see, the only eye surgeries I know of are, like, cataracts, LASIK, stuff like that. I don't know. I didn't know you could get it. I mean, it's a corneal thing, I think. So it's, like, it's not really...
Hold on, I'm gonna look it up.
I mean, go for it, I guess. Yeah, so it's... I don't know. I still feel... there was another thing I was thinking that I feel like they should have switched...
oh, it's LASIK.
Wait, he's getting LASIK? Why isn't he in a month for LASIK?
That's what came up when I looked it up.
So wait, it is just LASIK? That's what I had.
It says LASIK for astigmatism.
Oh, wait, is it going to be like PRK? Because that would be... PRK can take a month. No, my PRK could take like a little over a week, but I guess it depends on... In his situation, he probably should take a month.
Yeah.
It's not going to say, probably, unless you want to sit here all day reading it.
It just keeps saying LASIK. It's not... Oh, LASIK Plus?
Oh, yeah, I think LASIK Plus takes a little longer. They have to do some other kind of correction.
What is that?
It's like a weird... I can't remember. It's not normal LASIK. It's like... Well, obviously, it's why it's called LASIK Plus. Because LASIK, they take... When I had it, they just cut a flap on your eye. Or whatever. If you have astigmatism, that's probably why I have it now. Because I didn't used to have it. I used to just be close to blind. But, like, I was just myopic. But if you have astigmatism and they cut the flap, they can't do that. They usually, if you have an astigmatism, they have to do PRK or LASIK Plus. Because my brother had PRK because he had an astigmatism. And that's different. Because PRK, they just put, like, acid kind of on your eye to dissolve the corneal layer. Or is it, like, alcohol or something? And they rub it away. Maybe he needs more time to recover from the surgery since he's 48, not sure.
That could also have something to do with it.
It could be. I don't know,
Because you were young.
Yeah, I was young. I mean, PRK is painful. So I could see if he's got astigmatism, yeah, he would need to have PRK. So yeah, he would indeed definitely at least need a week, and they'd give him like some kind of opioid painkiller with it or something. I don't know, maybe it's different in Japan. But
I'm sure
that's
it's
what they do
pretty
here.
Similar.
Well, I didn't have PRK. I had LASIK. My brother had PRK. So, from what I saw with him, though, he was in a lot of pain. It really is a painful surgery. Apparently, from what I read, because they wanted me to get it because my eyes reverted a bit, so I was going to get it, but I couldn't get LASIK redone, obviously, because I already had it. You can't cut a second flap. So, for PRK, they, as I said, they dissolve it and whatever. But it hurts really bad. But this was like I don't even remember, like 10 years ago, almost, not even 10 years ago, maybe like 8, somewhere between 8 and 10. I don't remember what year. But he was supposed, or I was supposed to get it because I watched him get it and I saw how much pain he was in, and you couldn't see for like a few days. And I was in like school and I was working 2 jobs, so like I didn't really want to like do it.
Don't really have time.
Yeah, I didn't feel like it. So just went ahead and got contacts and whatever again. I mean, I'd like to do it anyway. Regardless, I would still do it. I just, my situation is not the same anymore as it was back then. Obviously, it's a good amount of time to pass. But at the same time, I'd still like to be able to see
And
for the
do
time.
things.
Yeah. Plus, I saw how much pain my brother was in. He was like really in a good amount of pain. So like, I don't know. I'd consider it. LASIK itself was not bad. Like regular LASIK, you could see from that like by the next day, but you just can't have it with astigmatism. I mean, I think LASIK plus is something. What you were bringing up, I think that's. I forget if it's where they don't make a flap at all, or maybe I think it might have just been advanced PRK.
It didn't really explain what it was on that article I found.
Regardless,
It
the
just
guy.
kept saying it.
Regardless, whatever the reason is, he should just use this as an excuse to take the month off. To be honest, because I feel the guy shouldn't be living off Red Bull and cigarettes. Like that's not healthy. Dude's gonna have a heart attack if he keeps that up. He needs.
Yeah, he's gotta be a little more careful.
I mean, he's a freaking genius though. Like overall, like he's telling the greatest story ever told. I'd like it if he lived to finish it. Basically, is
Yeah,
what I'm trying to say.
exactly.
But yeah, as far as the actual story though, at this point, I really just wish they would get the full summary. I'm so impatient when it comes to this stuff. I feel like a child, like waiting for like getting like a new video game or something when it comes to every time we get a new chapter with this stuff. It's really kind of bad.
I mean, I can be patient for it.
I mean, yeah, I know. I can't. Like if they, I mean, it doesn't ever make up for reading. That's the thing about spoilers, though. They don't ever make up for reading the actual
chapter.
Yeah, the real chapter. Like, and a lot of times leakers will sometimes get small details wrong that end up being large details in the scheme of things. So like, it kind of ends up working out though that you still read it and you're still excited to actually read it. At least for me. For other people, it ruins it for them. So like, I get it. If you don't want to be spoiled, you don't want to be spoiled. That's, it's your choice to do that. I respect that for the most part. Yeah, sometimes I guess I've been told I somehow give some stuff away in the title, like for the last spoiler video I did, which was more of an innuendo or a joke. I wasn't trying to actually like spoil it. I just thought it was funny.
It was funny.
I mean, I guess you could argue it if your mind.
I guess it could be considered.
I guess if you're like a patron saint, then yeah, I guess that you probably didn't think innuendo. You probably just assumed. I'm impatient only when I read the spoilers. The best story in all fiction. I need to know what happens.
True.
Yeah, exactly. I need to know either way, like regardless, like what the heck is happening. So I mean, like.
Do you think someone else is gonna do the summary this time?
I hope. I don't know.
It's not impossible.
There's a good amount of leakers. It's just like doing.
And just more of them just keep popping up. So.
Yeah, it's just depending on if like any of them, because a lot of them English isn't like their first language. So like, at least when it comes to our end of things, I mean, don't get me wrong. The guy we usually get it from, his grammar in English sometimes is
pretty easy to understand.
No, not always. Sometimes he writes things like you can work it out sometimes, but then sometimes he just writes things in a way that they don't make much sense. Yeah. Because I've been like, and I would say I'm pretty well versed in this by now because after reading his spoilers, like for the full summary, even sometimes the briefs, and having to retake the things so many times because I can't understand what he's wrote.
I saw a tweet earlier where someone had mentioned Marie Joie and it autocorrected to marijuana.
Yeah, I saw that was yeah, she showed me that. That was hilarious. I was like, oh, we're getting introduced to this patron saint of pot. All right.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't think Oda was okay with adding that, but alright.
I'm pretty sure that's illegal in Japan anyway.
It is. It's not here, it is there. But, I don't know. That's what I want to know, though, is because I'm pretty sure... Actually, no, I don't think it is, now I think about it, because I think that leaker was in... Most of them are Arabic, I think. So, yeah, that one would be... Well, there's a chance it could be legal over there, so that might be why it auto-corrected to that. Cause we'll put it this way, most phone manufacturers do not put marijuana as an autocorrect word.
True.
Unless you type it in a lot.
A lot of times, yeah.
Yeah, so... I don't know. Not my job to worry about other people's business. But, it was interesting to see that he didn't read it over to
It was
catch
kind of
that.
funny.
Yeah.
I had a giggle.
However, this actual chapter, though, itself, though, and...
I feel like there's info that we're not receiving in these briefs.
I feel like we're going back to Egghead at some point in this chapter. I feel like it's going to happen. I cannot see this not going back to Egghead. I think this is going to be, we're going to continue, from what I've understood with this so far, on Murray Joyce. We're going to continue the story. All we need to do is cover up the Big News Morgan aspect of things, how Wapple and Vivi got there. Then we head back to Egghead Island. And that's probably, I mean, we have to. Because, as you said, we get introduced to the Crocodile and Gecko Moria Seraphims.
Unless the Seraphim aren't on Egghead Island and they're somewhere else.
You're right. I didn't think about that. What if they're at Mary Joyce? Why would they be...
Could be anywhere.
But why? They have the Holy Knights there. Do they need them?
Maybe they're training them.
I mean, I guess it's possible. Wait, training them? Why would they need train? They're already... Shouldn't they be trained? I mean, I guess they just take orders.
Ideas.
They just take orders. They just gotta grow up.
True.
I really hope they grow up and get a free will, though. That'd be so cool.
Yeah, I'd like that.
Like, it'd be
they
really...
have minds of their own. They can do what they want.
Yeah, because think about, like, what if... Well, then again, there's only...
Because they have personalities.
Boa's the only female seraphim. Right? Am I wrong? Unless Crocodile was, but no, obviously not as a joke. But, because we saw him as a child. But Boa being the only female, right? There's no other female warlords, right? That's the only one. Man, Oda didn't really represent women too much in the warlords, did he?
I mean, Big Mom was an emperor.
We don't talk about her. She wasn't a warlord, though. It's not. Well, I guess you could say maybe Blackbeard's kind of a... He was drawn as a woman.
What?
Yeah, Oda drew Blackbeard as a woman. He was freaking ugly. I mean, but he's ugly as a dude.
You mean when he did a bunch of the other characters?
Yeah, he did in that... Was it SBS or something? I don't remember. He drew him out. Well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm just being stupid. Like, the whole point is that...
I remember the crew being gender swapped.
Just think about
Oda.
this. What if, just like in Dragon Ball Z, Oda, how Dr. Gero did with Android 18, where he left the baby maker intact?
Oh, jeez.
I have hope too. I hope he is. I hope he does. I hope it's Croco Mom. I swear, I hope he's Luffy's mother.
I would love that, just because I think it's funny.
I really want that theory to be true so bad. I know it's not.
There's a lot of stuff that kind of hints at it, though.
I mean, yeah, but no.
So it could be possible.
Obviously, the woman thing is possible because Ivankov said what Ivankov said, but, like...
Yeah.
The odds of Crocodile being Luffy's mother, though...
What other super spicy secret could Crocodile possibly have with Ivankov?
He's Jinbei's mother.
What?
Okay. But, now you done made me forget what the heck it was. Oh, yeah, Boa. Since Boa is a female... And she's technically Lunarian. If it's like Android 18, right? Where Android 18 was able to have a baby with Krillin, what if Boa is able to help repopulate the Lunarians? Because she has the Lunarian DNA and bring back the Lunarians for, like, something important in the future? I don't know, just for in general. I mean, I don't know what the story is of King. I mean, obviously Green Bull got to King and everybody else at Udon Prison after the Wano arc, but I'm like trying to think because like it would be interesting to see a King Seraphim on top of them as well, just because like King was like the base DNA. So like I feel like that would be interesting to see a little King Seraphim. And I mean, we obviously know what Child King, I guess, for the most part would look like, because that flash scene I showed in one of the panels from
I kind of just
the
pictured
anime episode 1062.
like the full-grown king running, like trying to start a fight, and then all the little seraphims are chasing him,
That would be.
like screaming, like with kid voices.
I want to see like. I don't know. I don't think we're actually gonna get a King Lunar or a King Seraphim, to be honest.
Probably
But
not.
it would be cool because like he I feel like he kind of deserves it because like he literally is the base genetic for them. So like
That is true.
plus it would just be another person for them to use. It's not like he doesn't have any powers. Like it would just be another individual on top of the warlords that they have DNA from. They could just turn into a Seraphim. And they captured Kaido too. I know that their Seraphims so far are just warlords, but like theoretically, they
But
could make
what
a Kaido. They could make a Kaido Seraphim. Maybe in a
And
Big
what
Mom.
if they did do that?
That's gonna be something because that Seraphim would probably end up being stronger than the actual Kaido. Maybe. Actually, I don't know. I don't think the Mihawk Seraphim could beat up Mihawks. Maybe not. I think Dog. People say he won't have one because he was see. Nah, he's gonna have one.
It's entirely possible considering they brought Crocodile and Gecko Moria.
I think he's gonna have one. Definitely. I think at this point, all of the warlords will have one.
If Gecko Moria's got one, I'm sure Doflamingo has one.
But then again, I don't know, because they did arrest Doflamingo. It depends on when Vegapunk was actually manufacturing them. Because if Vegapunk manufactured the Seraphim before Doflamingo was locked up, then yeah, I would say he's probably going to have one. I don't think his Celestial Dragon lineage is going to make a difference. I mean, it could, but I don't think so.
Sorry, there's a train coming.
Yeah, it's kind of annoying. We live by a train station. It makes recording difficult sometimes. But basically, he could be. I don't know. I guess it depends on if you would how they viewed cloning Celestial Dragon blood. I guess, because I have heard this already, and I haven't really thought that hard on it. But I would probably say that yeah, Doflamingo would probably end up having a Seraphim because it's more manpower, and that branch. Obviously not the whole Don Quixote family, but his father and his mother and brother. Law might get one too. He would be really cute. I want it to be female Law if it's gonna do that.
Jeez.
It's not going to
But
be because they have no way to
wasn't
do
a
that.
female as a kid.
Look, female Law was hot.
It just makes them use their DNA to make babies of them.
I mean, yeah, I don't know because it's kind of interesting. I doubt Vegapunk's making them in like a test tube like Judge. He could be, but I kind of don't think so.
Maybe not. I don't know.
But yeah, Law probably. I mean, Doflamingo. I'm like on edge with him though. I think that yeah, but at the same time, he's like a disgraced celestial dragon, so they might not even care. They might just be like, he was thrown down from. He's kind of like. It's really metaphorical to the Bible in a way because like, fallen angels and whatever. The celestial dragons could be seen as like angels since Emu would be gods. So like I guess if you're throwing Don Quixote down to hell or earth itself, then he becomes a demon. So maybe at that point, that's why he's called the heavenly demon. So I mean like I would assume. And it just makes sense that they would no longer care about his blood. I mean obviously they give him some stretch or leeway there. But if I had to guess, I would say Doflamingo, yeah, there's probably going to be one. I just can't see a really good reason with his situation not to, unless they value the blood that much. But it's also a possibility, I don't know. I mean, going back, though, actually, because this just brought up in my mind, the thing with Shanks, the speculation people were having about his meeting with the Gorosei. And now that we know it's definitely a Fagarland, probably like his father or brother. I mean, if I had to guess, I want to say probably his father because it just makes more sense to me. Because the name Holy Knight, I mean, it just seems similar to the Gorosei's Holy Warrior title, Holy Warrior God. So to me, that just kind of feels like it's gonna be more than likely. Man, these trains are annoying today. It's gonna be more than likely.
So loud.
Damn, made me lose my thought. It's gonna be more than it's gonna be more than likely as like his father, if I had to guess, because I just can't really see any reason to make it like a brother. I mean, I guess it could be. I mean, I don't know. It's really just whatever Oda wants. I just think it would make more sense to be his father, because like it's very rare that we see actual siblings in this series.
I think it'd be pretty cool if it was an identical twin, and the only difference is his hair is blue.
Yeah, but think about it this way: if Oda were to make if Oda were to give Shanks a brother, I don't know of anybody else in this series as a blood brother. I assume Blackbeard might not get one since he was a warlord for such a short period of time after capturing Ace. Also, I think the God's Knight's leader will be his father too. Yeah, it just makes more sense to me. It's
probably
a father.
Gonna be the father.
Blackbeard.
To be honest.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know. I mean, I think Blackbeard's probably maybe, I don't know. I feel like if they're
maybe not.
He was a warlord for such a short time, it doesn't really make sense that they would. I mean, but then again, maybe they could. It depends if Vegapunk had a chance to get the DNA. I assume if he got the DNA, then maybe. I mean, it's not like Blackbeard's weak by any means. I mean, the guy, he's the one who scarred Shanks, and we saw how broken Shanks is. So, I mean, it's not like we can just write him off. And that was before Blackbeard ever even had a devil fruit. So, I mean, it's not like he would be a weak Seraphim by any stretch of the imaginations. And he clearly has knowledge of, the Lunarians and everything else. Because when he saw the Seraphim, he said, "Well, these are Lunarians." Like, he knew what they were. So, to me, it kind of... I could see if they somehow were to get that DNA, which I doubt it, unless, like, maybe they're... we've never been told what the actual requirements are to become a warlord. Like, what the world government makes you do. Like, obviously you go in, like Lafitte did, you could pitch the position, whatever, for you pitch whoever you want for the position, nominate him. But we don't know what happens when you actually get the position. Do they make you come in and, like, spit in a cup? Do you have to go, like, go in the bathroom like and jerk off and give them some... Or do they take your eggs?
Instead of actually testing it, they just make seraphims of you?
Yeah, like, do they command you, like, oh, you have to give us a little bit of your DNA. We won't tell you what it's for. It's so we can genetically employ you? I don't know. It's such a weird concept. I mean, but it's not impossible. I mean, like, how else would they have gotten it? Because they're not going to imprison the warlords. That's literally, like, their fighting force. They're not going to just lock them up and do experiments. I'm sure we would have heard about that. And I know Mihawk, no way he would allow that.
Maybe they asked really nicely for some spit?
Maybe. But that's so... I mean, yeah, if it's, like, for scientific reasons, I could see, but it'd be really weird. It's like, could you just imagine that? They get the orders by somebody, because it's not like you can just, like, force somebody to spit. I mean, I guess you could, like, stick your fingers in their mouth or something. That's gross, but, like, maybe, you know what they probably did? Probably just get, like, cauliflower or something. I guess for Boa, maybe not, but I guess for, like, most of the others, you could just go up to, like, I guess they could have got it from Blackbeard. Just get a hot girl to go up to him and just go, "Spit on me, daddy," and they probably got it.
Oh my god.
They probably did. I assume that would have worked. I mean,
maybe.
Bruh, whenever we see him on BI, he's got, like, fucking multiple women with him.
What, Blackbeard? Yeah.
Yeah. Which is ridiculous, because he looks disgusting. He's a hippo. Literally, he's modeled after
I don't
it.
see the appeal, but...
I don't know. But, I mean, it's just because he's an emperor. But then again, so did Whitebeard. It's funny, because that's the only two I've seen do that. That's, like, the real parallel. I mean, like, Orochi did it, but, like, between Whitebeard and Blackbeard...
But Orochi was kind of different, though.
True, but that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that, like, Whitebeard, he had a harem of nurses, so, like, it's different than, like, Blackbeard just has one. So it's just interesting they both did. Hello.
Hello.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It can go either way with it's hard to say who would actually all have seraphims. If it's just the original 7, then I mean, it would work on me. I won't lie. It would. I mean, it would probably work on most. Yeah, I think it would work on most people. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think Oda, it would it wouldn't make a whole lot of sense, I guess, for Blackbeard, to be honest, unless it's like a thing they have to do. I just can't see Blackbeard being a seraphim.
It could be that Oda actually did make a Blackbeard seraphim, and he just doesn't want us to think that he did until the very last moment, so he can just be like, haha, I tricked you.
I want to see Blackbeard, if he does have one, Doffy seraphim, please, Oda. Dude, I think it's probably gonna happen. Doffy was a.
It's very likely at this point.
Yeah, he probably will be, because he was a warlord for like a pretty long time. So like they probably had his DNA. The only thing I could say is if they don't view his DNA as a disgrace, he's probably gonna be one. He's probably gonna be a seraphim.
Like I said, Gecko Moria got one, so
Yeah,
he's probably got one too.
more than likely, it's probably gonna happen. But as I just want to see like the seraphim at some point. I really want to see them come into contact with their actual original parts, like their original counterparts. I want to see the Mihawk seraphim meet up with Mihawk. Obviously, you know what? Maybe not, because Mihawk will probably cut him in half. But I don't think
No,
that.
they could be friends.
Mm.
Maybe he'd adopt him.
Maybe not. It depends on if he. I mean, depends on if the seraphim get free will.
Where'd you put the water?
I don't know. It's by you. Over there somewhere. I'd be creeped out, though.
I don't see it.
I don't see it either. Give me a sec. I'll go get you one. I might have.
Okay.
There, guys. I'll be right back. She wants liquid.
Liquid agua.
Yeah.
Please. Oh,
Actually, I'm gonna go pee real quick.
thank you.
Oh, BRB.
Okie doke. We have to wait a moment, friends. He's taking a leak. Boa did almost meet her own, didn't she? Ooh. Sucks they didn't actually meet, though. I would like to see the interactions that happened between them all. I can't remember if Jinbei met his during Egghead. No, I don't think he did. I think only Sanji, Nami. Well, shoot. No, I forgot which group that was. Hold on, give me a minute. Well, I can say for sure Sanji and Nami met the Jinbei Seraphim. But I don't think Jinbei did. I don't think. My brain's trying not to work. Hey, love.
What?
Did Jinbei meet the Jinbei Seraphim on Egghead, or did he not?
I don't think so. I can go check.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Let me check. I'm gonna check. Hold on. Give me 1 second.
Wait, since Crocodile has a Seraphim, do you think Vegapunk replaced his original Devil Fruit with the new one we kept it? That's a good question.
Wait, Crocodile Seraphim. Do you think Vegapunk replaced the original Devil Fruit with the new one, or he kept it? Because he did say it Logi's a hearse crate. He probably switched it. Everybody else got switched. I can't see why. I mean, he probably has something similar. What's something similar he could create that's paramecia? He might be able to make... I don't know. What's similar? Because, like, think Jinbei being a fishman, obviously his Seraphim got the swim fruit, so it's somehow going to be probably related. Mihawk has the, you know, what's it called? Not the blade. I can't remember what it's called. The sword one.
The slice and dice fruit.
Yeah, the dice fruit. That's what it's, dice fruit. So, and Boa... Oh, Boa actually has her fruit.
She has her fruit.
Yeah, so it's maybe... How did he well, he had to have the genetic... Well, I guess there's a paramecia, so I guess he had the lineage to recreate because she was a slave. So, I mean... But Logias are difficult. I mean, I don't know, because he did recreate Kizaru, so, like, they're difficult, but not impossible.
Wait, what if it's... You know, Jinbei doesn't have a devil fruit, and neither does Mihawk. Maybe they just got those devil fruits because they didn't actually have one before? So what if warlords that had devil fruits when they're turned into Seraphim, they keep those devil fruits?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know, it just Oda could do whatever he wants. That's the problem. It's guessing. It's a guessing
The
game.
big
So
surprise party.
I'm trying to like picture if there's any other options. Like, what other fruit do you guys think that crocodile would ultimately be like good to like for a seraphim to have? What other fruit could you actually see him with? I want to, it'd be funny actually if there was some sort of like liquid. Technically, it's interesting. Avalo Pizarro wasn't impelled down, but he might have just got his devil fruit. I don't know. I don't know when he got his devil fruit, but if they did, he could have like the Sake no Mi or something, the booze fruit. Be a liquid fruit. Crocodile could finally take a shower with, without his guard up. Man has to have his guard up in the shower. That's Oda literally said that.
Poor guy.
I don't know if it. But I think he said it doesn't count when he's drinking liquid. Did he? I don't remember. I don't know. It's such a flaw to your fruit.
Touchy area. I don't really know.
That's a very flawed fruit. Thinking about it. I don't know, but I don't know. There's just so much that he could do with the seraphim still. Oh, that would be cool. But that's if Magellan let him have it. Well, then again, he could send a stool sample.
I mean, plenty of that, I suppose.
Yeah, it's possible. He probably did. I could see that. I mean,
do liquid stools, would that suffice?
I don't think it matters. I think he just needs DNA. I mean, like you just need the genetic code, right? You can get genetic code out of like any. I guess the easy. I think obviously, in realistically speaking terms, obviously semen or eggs in real life cloning would probably be the best thing to have, to some degrees. That's like I think anyway. I'm not a scientist, but I'm assuming that would be the best place to get your genetic code, because obviously you're incubating a clone.
True, that does make sense.
But the way you would incubate a real life clone, which is illegal by the way, is different than how you would incubate like a plant clone. Because plant clones are different. You could just chop a thing off like a branch and then put hormones on it and let it root. Humans, it's like you need to like actually. You're not gonna get the same thing. You're gonna have like different variants.
It's more complicated than that.
Well, I mean, I guess maybe it is better than to. Now I think about it, maybe it would be better to use like your skin or something. Crocodile did use a poison hook in his fight against Luffy in their fight. You know what? Yeah, that would make sense. That would make sense. Yeah, he could be like a big. Yeah, you get the poison hook and be a poison man. Well, maybe I don't think.
Do you think he would also have the diarrhea?
No. Maybe depends on if he eats poison a lot. But then again, does Seraphim eat really? We haven't seen him eat.
I mean, that's true.
I mean, look, we haven't seen a Seraphim and food in the same room, so I can't say that I think they eat.
They could though, because maybe you don't eat because you're hungry, but you just want that feeling of eating food.
They fire lasers out their hands.
Yeah.
Does Kuma eat?
What's that got to do with eating?
Does Kuma still eat? I don't know. It depends on how transformed they are. I guess. Maybe not. I could be being stupid here. Maybe they do eat. Maybe they're just like cyborgs. Like, the androids 17 and 18 actually eat? Yeah, because they're just genetically gone. It could be something like that.
I think. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I have seen them eat. Yeah, they could just be modified. They could just be slightly modified like that. But I mean, we've seen through Mihawk Seraphim's vision. So we know at least his vision's modified like Kuma's. So yeah, Poison Hook would actually, for Crocodile, if they wouldn't have to use it. He would just be able to, because he would. If he was, obviously a clone would have to have lost the hand somehow. So he's going to be reborn with a hand. He's a clone of him. I doubt that Oda's going to go as far as to keep the hand removed.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah, he's probably going to have Poison Logia. I think that would make the most sense. Or Poison Paramecio, sorry. I think that would make the most sense. Magellan's Fruit, definitely. I think that would be cool. It would either be that or it'd have to be something relating to, like, rocks. But I don't think I can think of any. Not like the pirate. I mean, like, literal rocks.
It's okay.
I can't think of anything.
I think we all understood what you meant.
Yeah, like a boulder, like, you know. Then again, Fujitori's fruit. I doubt it, but that would be cool.
That's gravity.
Yeah, but he brings down a meteorite. I don't know. I was just thinking in Naruto with I don't know why I was just thinking when Madara brought down a meteorite or whatever, or asteroid or whatever it was, and then Tsuchikage used his powers on it to like lighten it. I was thinking that'd be interesting if like Crocodile could like control boulders and stuff and like bring down. If he used Fujitori's fruit, he could just lighten stuff and or make it heavier, bring down meteorites and stuff. That'd be cool. I don't think he's not gonna get Fujitori's fruit.
No,
Obviously,
not.
but it is a paramecia, which means it's a possibility.
Anything's a possibility.
Yeah, basically no paramecia that has. And also, he's an admiral. He's in the Marines, so. But none of that's like technically off the table when you think about it, because like, really, anybody that's ever been in contact, like in the Marines, or actually been arrested or been part of the warlords or in any capacity had an association with the world governments, like, yeah, exactly. The possibilities are endless. You could literally sit here all day, like, naming ideas, and at the end of the day, Odo's probably going to pick something completely random.
Something that was completely out of left field that hardly anybody expected.
Anything's a possibility. Let's bring back Shiki. Yes! Yes, please. I want to know the 20-year plan for fucking Christ's sake. Why is Oda waiting so long?
We mentioned that in a video, too.
Yes, I did.
Shiki.
I did mention that. I forgot about that. I did do that because I still think he might be the one funding Crosscode. I still think that that's a possibility.
Hasn't been proved wrong yet.
Well, I don't think Crocodile really has a way to have the money still. Like, he hasn't actually shown a way that he could have that much money. And it makes sense. If Shiki was funding it, his 20-year plan is to take over the entire world. Obviously, it was genetically modifying the creatures on the island. But, like, if Shiki were to come back, and he were to be paying Cross Guild and Buggy as an Emperor to do his dirty work, I mean, obviously, Shiki is going to be a crew that's on Emperor level at this point. I mean, maybe he's older. Maybe it's going to be similar to Whitebeard in that regard. But, I mean, the man tangled with Garp and Sengoku at the exact same time and destroyed half Marineford. It's not like he just immediately got sent to prison, and he got sent there with, like, a few bruises. It's not like he was, like, close to dying. But, like, I don't know. I really could see Shiki coming back and being like this one that's actually paying out bounties, because I can't figure out any other way that as a business Cross Guild functions. Like, how does Cross Guild not go out of business if somebody's not paying them something?
They gotta be making something off of it.
Yeah, because if you're just paying for the heads of Marines, the world government can do it because they print the money. Their money's endless. They can just do whatever they want. But when it comes to like Cross Guild, they don't have that sort of limitless wealth. I mean, yeah, Doflamingo during Dressrosa was able to offer something like that. Yeah, exactly, the float fruit. That could be a good actually, that would be, because he was in Impel Down too. That could be cool, actually. That would make sense. Because Crocodile would still have the ability to fly then, so he might be most, that could be cool, actually. Crocodile with the float
It'd be
fruit.
interesting.
Yeah. But ultimately, I still feel like Shiki, though... And yeah, the thing at Wano, too, really points out that I think Shiki's going to be coming back with something to do with the story, too. Because of that shrine that was just floating. I mean, obviously, Shiki was there. It's obviously an Easter egg that says Shiki was there.
Wonder who did that.
But, yeah, but as far as, like, actually the thing with Cross Guild, if he's funding them in the way... He's not really funding them. If they collect a Marine head, and Shiki's had 20 years with his massive armada, he's rebuilt it, say he's got all the money in the world now that he's collected over 20 years, he got all this treasure, he actually can afford it, and if Buggy brings him a Marine head, Buggy pays out the bounty he says he'll pay, but then he makes like 100-200 million berries on top of it by turning the head over to Shiki, who wants to bring down the world government, has a true goal here. I mean, obviously Crocodile did, so this would play into Crocodile's goals as well, and it would play into, obviously Mihawk's just along for the ride, but it would eventually play into the story of like Buggy then going towards the One Piece with the world government week. I mean, it just works out when you think about it, because then Cross Guild stays in business, they make money, because obviously
a lot of sense.
And it makes sense that Crocodile, being an underworld, big time underworld guy, like a business guy, he would obviously be in touch with somebody that would be able to make the money, because otherwise you would just lose money, because somebody brings you ahead, here's 500 million berries, what's replenishing your bank account? Nothing. unless you already have
Debt.
a ton of wealth. Yeah, you're just going into debt, which none of them had money when Crossco was formed. Not a single one of them did. I mean, that's why Crocodile showed up to collect. Never heard of the Shiki X Crossco theory. I like the idea a lot. Yeah, I did a whole video on it already, actually. I think I'd have to go back and see. It's somewhere on the video list. I don't know.
Hold on. I got you.
You could post to the chat if you want to go watch it later or something. Or you could find it. I don't remember what video it was, or you could just tell them. You are way too far back.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are. You're way too far back.
Wait.
No. It's right there. That one.
Is it that one?
Yeah, it's literally titled "Buggy is not the one funding Crosscode."
My bad.
But yeah, I went
link.
into a whole explanation on that, and basically it just amounts to like it's the only way I could think of. Oh.
Put it in there.
Oh, it might. I don't know.
Let's see.
If it tries to say no, I'll see if I can approve it.
Did it work?
No, I don't see it. Yeah, I could definitely see Shiki coming back because Oda said he wanted to create the biggest war in like anime history or something like that. Yeah, he did. He said it'd be a battle royale that made Marineford look cute.
It didn't work.
I don't know how to fix that actually. So.
Heck.
Yeah. Well, you guys are. I'm sorry. You might just have to go back on the channel because apparently it's not letting me throw it in the chat.
The thumbnail has a picture of Buggy with a really funny face, and it says Crosscode.
It literally just says Buggy's not the one funding Crosscode. It's not that far back. It's like not even like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's 6 videos back.
Oh, what have you done?
Shoot, go back to that. It's like 6 videos back, so you should be able to find it if you want to check it out and watch it. But yeah, it just amounts to that's the only way he would be able to make a profit because otherwise it ends up like Buggy's delivery.
Yeah.
Could you see Kaido coming back to the final war? I mean, I think probably as much as I don't want her to, I think Big Mom might come back. And the only reason I think that is because of what Pudding said. And I genuinely would despise it, but it's possible because she's like, I don't know. I don't know who would have her as their favorite character, but it ain't me. I mean, don't get me wrong, hot Big Mom looks good, but she's still annoying.
I didn't hate Big Mom until
I'm cool with the idea of Kaido,
Wedding
though.
Cake.
Yeah, Wedding Cake ruined her for me. But Kaido, maybe? I don't know. It's just, I feel like that the Gorosei are going to put Kaido's power to shame. I genuinely just feel like, considering they're called warrior gods at this point now, the idea of it's just... Kaido would have to get a boost. I think it'd be cool, though, to actually see him come back and be, like, relevant. But he would need to have some kind of, like, a boost to, like, help him...
I think he could get a boost. I don't think that's out of...
the question.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, he could get strong. I mean, think about it this way. When he fought Luffy, he did get, like, that spark back. Because, like, he did say, like, he wanted to... Yeah, he finally felt like he had some reason to go on fighting because the man was trying to off himself, like, for forever because he felt like nobody could beat him, which is kind of ridiculous now that we know how strong Shanks is. I mean, just go fight Shanks. I mean, really? You see if he'll do it for you if you're that worried about it. Oh, yeah, Big Mom was lacking in... Yeah, she was lacking in smarts and the ability to use words other than cake. Or wedding cake.
I think hearing Wedding Cake for like 300, 500 times.
I can't deal with that. I mean, no, other than like her fight with like Law and Kid was interesting.
No, I like that.
That was fine. And I admit the whole thing with Oline, I found that amusing. Mainly the parts where she was gonna eat Chopper.
She wasn't gonna eat him. She was just drooling at him.
That's on her face.
What?
But she was drooling at him because she was hungry. I don't know what it was, but she was hungry. She wanted to eat reindeer meat because she couldn't get red bean soup.
Yeah, I mean, emergency rations, I guess.
That's what Luffy said when he first met him. That's exactly what they called him, was emergency rations, because they were at Drum Island, and they got on the ship, and actually, I don't think he's the only one that said that. Zoro might have said it too. I don't remember. A lot of people have called Chopper emergency rations. I could see Kaido coming back with an awakening.
Ooh, that'd be cool.
That begs the question though, if Kaido was awakened or not. I don't think he was.
Yeah, but there were people saying they thought he was. It's kind of a on.
Well, he didn't have the cloud, like but his daughter was.
True.
You're a freaking emperor, man. How are you not awakened? I don't get it. How can you be not awakened and be an emperor that could kick your daughter or son, whatever? I guess to call him his son, Yamato. I don't want to get into the debate at this point. Yeah, I'm not gonna even bother getting into that. But like,
bad dog.
Yeah, Kaido. I mean, she was close in strength. She wasn't like that far over. He was whatever you want to call him at this point. I mean, I guess Oda could for she at this point. I'm not even gonna try and get into that. I don't want to.
Just say Yamato.
I'm just gonna say Yamato. I don't want to make people upset by mislabeling whatever. I've seen people say that that the cloud holding up Onigashima was Kaido's awakening cloud, but I don't know. No, it's not. Kaido, because Momonosuke could make clouds.
Made those clouds too.
Yeah, Momonosuke made them too. He was more of a hockey user than Devil Fruit. True, that's true. He was a big hockey user. He even said himself, hockey's the thing that lets you rule the seas. Yeah, so he might have cared more about his hockey than his Devil Fruit, which. I could see maybe that. Maybe he focused more on that regard. But the way that awakenings are kind of described, it's not really like... I mean, yeah, your body catches up with your Devil Fruit powers, right? But it kind of seems like you're going to awaken at some point. Like, if you're, like, powerful enough regardless. I don't know if the way Oda meant that is, like, you get to a certain level of strength and then you're awakened. And if it's a certain level of strength, I think that it's fair enough to say Kaido would probably have been there.
You would think, honestly.
Because for a while, I thought that the hybrid transformation that they would go into, like when he fought Yamato, I thought that hybrid transformation was like his awakened form. That's what I thought it was. But now I'm not so sure, because that Yamato kind of seemed like like they were in the awakened transformation too. Like, it seemed like when they were awakened and in their form, that they were using the, that same in-between form. Unless there's more to it, it seemed humanoid. If Kaku and the jailers at Impel Down can get there, surely Kaido can. Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like Kaido should almost certainly have been awakened at that level. He did say it's been a long time since he had a serious one-on-one fight. He did, yeah.
Yeah.
But then again, we couldn't have been that. Well, I want to know what happened, though, between him and Shanks before he went to Marineford.
I wonder if we're ever going to hear about that.
I feel like Oda should explain. But also, why didn't the jailers have an awakening cloud? Yeah, that's the thing, is, like, they didn't have one either. So, like, I can't imagine you'd be that strong. Even if you're, like, focused on hockey that much, like, Luffy was... That's the thing. Luffy wasn't even trying to train his Devil Fruit. Like, he was. Obviously, he had years. But, like, for the last couple arcs, ever since he fought Katakuri... The entire focus was on advancing his hockey and getting Ryo and everything. And he was more focused on getting advanced Conquerors, Ryo and whatever. And that was when he obtained his awakening. Like, that was when he turned Gear 5. So, like, I kind of feel like Kaido being at that level of power with that level of hockey, I feel like it's a strength thing. I feel like your body just needs to get to a certain level of strength before you actually unlock it, whether you're training just hockey or whatever. It just seems like once you hit a certain ceiling and you break that ceiling, that's when you should be able to catch up. Unless it's literally just like a timing thing, like you live long enough to a certain point that your body just snaps into it. Because Luffy's been in like this middle Zoan transformation his whole life. Because he's a Zoan, so like he's been in that middle form. So maybe that does mean the awakening isn't... I mean, maybe it varies by fruit, because he is a mythical Zoan, but then so is Kaido, because he's a mythical Gyarados. So, but still, the point is, like, it's kind of confusing, and Oda really should clarify this, I feel, at least in an SBS or something.
Yeah, we need explanations. Too many questions.
I think it was because of Luffy's combination of creativity in both his hockey and his fruit. I mean, yeah, he works them together in tandem.
Makes sense.
Kaido, his level of creation is make clouds fire Boro breath. So I guess... I'm going to be honest, when I've watched Kaido fight in his dragon form, I feel like he's stronger in his human form. I feel like the stuff I witnessed, like, don't get me wrong, he could do a lot of damage, but like, I guess it also depends on if he's really drunk, but I feel like he performs better as a human than as a dragon a lot of the time. I mean, Odin cut him as a dragon.
He can hit with his bat.
Luffy, when he was drunk, when he first got to Wano, punched him out of his dragon form.
That is true.
Without actually hurting him, he just went out of the sky. He didn't take any actual damage. He just got knocked out of the sky and went out of his dragon form. I don't know if he did it on purpose or what. Maybe he did it on purpose, because if you're in the dragon form, you can't use the Kanabo. You can't use it. You can't whack anybody with it. So I don't know.
I mean, I suppose he could try.
I'm more confident that his Thunder Bagua is more lethal than Boro Breath. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. Because that's why I'm like, okay, so why would you need to go out of your dragon form to use Thunder Bagua on Luffy when he first gets there? Like,
Unless,
I don't
in his
get
dragon form, if he holds it in his mouth.
I mean, yeah.
He just goes like that.
What, he's gonna be Dragon Zoro?
I
Get
guess.
it. That would be great. You know, I want to see another character master, three of something style. Actually,
Well, I mean, he could hold one in all of his.
make that
little
Kaido's
claw
upgrade
feet.
3 Kanabo style.
Like that at the end of his tail, have his tail wrapped around one, and have another one.
It
in
was
his
like
mouth.
he was testing each form to see how his opponents do against it.
Yeah, kinda. I don't know. I just feel like the dragon. He should have trained. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe he. You would think he'd have to be awakened, but maybe if he wasn't awakened and he gets that upgrade, just from what we've seen with characters now. Yeah, 3 fist style. The third one is the one between his legs. Oh god, that just Kaido. 3 fist style. I could see Luffy
What
coming
the
up with
fuck?
something like that. I mean, Oda was gonna give Zoro 4 swords at one point. I don't know where the other. I mean, people speculate it was gonna go between
Was
the
he
butt cheeks.
actually? Like, is that really what Oda said?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
Did he actually say that?
Yeah, because he didn't know where he'd put the 4th one.
No, he didn't.
I'm pretty sure he did. Guys, am I wrong on that, or did Oda say that?
Like how Luffy doesn't go to his gear straight away.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like the most powerful form Kaido has is that in-between form, where he's still able to use Thunder Bagua and stuff in his Haki and everything. Because he can't really use your Haki in the dragon form. Like, you can fire Boro Breath and whatever, but I mean, if it was that powerful on its own, I feel like Momonosuke would have been able to, like, achieve at least a similar... Because he kind of did. Once he learned how to fire Boro Breath and stuff against Ryokugyu, I mean, what's left? I mean, I guess you could improve the power of the Boro Breath. You could try to scratch him with your nubs. You could wrap around him and fire a Boro
He's
Breath.
still got claws. They're just.
His little claws. And he can fly. He can fly on clouds. I mean, technically he can't fly. He creates clouds and floats on them. So technically it's flying, but also not flying. I don't know. Thinking about it, it's a powerful fruit, I guess, but it's also not that powerful. It's kind of lame. Don't get me wrong, being a dragon would be cool, but I feel like it'd be cooler if you could, like, at least, like, grant wishes.
A luck dragon or a wish dragon?
Shenron.
Shenron.
Kaido could be Shenron.
I mean, he kind of looks like Shenron.
Murder Drunken Bagua was cool.
Yeah. Kaido drunk in general is cool.
It's funny. He's a funny guy.
I just like seeing him on his rants. He's just chugging it and he's just, like, crying for no reason. Like, freaking out over nothing. Wouldn't it be interesting if one day Zoro became the same way from his alcoholism? And one day he just he's drank so much that he just becomes like Kaido was and has these random manic episodes of, like, ups and downs or whatever. When he becomes the world's strongest swordsman. Yo, that makes sense, actually, because once he beats Mihawk and he gets that strong and no one's there to beat him, somebody else had to beat him eventually, and Zoro's already a drunk. Would he just end up like Kaido? Too strong for his own good?
And depressed.
And depressed? Yeah. And, like, trying to jump off Sky Islands and failing at, I guess, not failing at life, I guess failing at death.
I mean, I would hope not. That's sad.
I don't know. That's gonna be a outcome for him. His future. No, I mean, like, it could be his future might not be Like, he's got a bright future. Like, it's gonna be like, think of a stock chart. Like, Zoro's on his way up right now. Not to mention flirty drunken Bagua. Oh my god. And then just right back down though. After he beats Mihawk,
But
peak of the mountain. He's still the world's strongest the whole time.
no,
But then right back down because I'm talking about his mental state, not like his like in his alcoholism. I'm not talking about like his power. I'm just talking about like that. Like, this is not anything to do with Zoro's power, just his mental state and alcoholism. I mean, and the only difference I guess is, I mean, then again, it's not like Kaido also. Yeah, I think flirty drunken Kaido was hilarious, but it's not like Kaido has anybody left to flirt with. Robin kind of snapped her in half, so.
that episode.
Well, at least he
I
doesn't
really
have a.
like that episode. And the chapter, but that episode was really nice.
If Black Maria really was Kaido's wife, and really gave birth to Yamato, I just want to know how. But then I want to know that about almost everybody in the series. Like, I could maybe understand. Like, I get the whole Fishman Island thing. I understand that. And I could see how I could see, say, Poseidon and Otahime. I could see, no, not Poseidon, sorry, King Neptune.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, my brain's foggy right now from being awake for so long. But I could see Neptune and Otahime, how they had a baby. I could see that.
What if they like had
Because-
babies like fish
That'd be so
actually
weird.
do, and she like
Wait,
pooped
Black
out
Maria is
the
only a year
eggs?
older than Yamato? No way. I didn't know she was that.
What?
Is she actually? Because I've seen so much stuff where people said that was like Kaido's wife. Am I?
But anyway, what if she like pooped out the eggs and then all Neptune had to do was fertilize them
She's 29. Oh yeah, that wouldn't really be old enough, would it? Hold on.
because they're fish?
Yo, she is only 1 year older. I didn't even know that. I thought. Why does she seem so much older though?
Mm.
Huh. I
The
didn't know her
spider
age
legs,
was.
maybe?
When did they reveal her age? I don't remember her age being revealed.
I don't have that for you. I'm sorry.
I don't know. I'm not an entire encyclopedia, so I guess I was mistaken on that. So wait, then who is Yamato's mother? Probably because she's massive. That makes sense. That does make sense. Yamato's massive too, though. Which is weird, because in the bath scene, when she was next to everybody,
She like shrunk.
yeah, she pulled an Enma. Because Luffy is like 5-something, Zoro, they're more normal height. But Yamato, who's supposedly like, I think
I think she's like 8 foot.
8'2", I think, or something.
She's big.
She's magically normal size while they're in the bath. I don't know if you guys noticed that. Like, and you could maybe say like, I don't even know if you could say like maybe it's like different depths in where they're sitting, but like she's kind of like jumping out of the water, and everybody else looks like, kind of normal for their size. I don't know. I think Oda just has I think a lot of the time he doesn't actually keep like a reference for his drawings.
That or he just wanted to make sure Yamato would fit in the panel.
I mean, I guess, but sometimes I just feel like he doesn't, like, remember when he's drawing the pictures how tall a character is supposed to be. Like, I can't blame him when you're drawing that much. I would forget.
That many characters as well.
Yeah, plus you're doing it that fast. I mean, I could see it. But at the same time, she's supposed to be huge. Heights in One Piece are just too funny to think about.
Whoever Kaido's wife was, I feel kind of sorry for her. I mean,
Facts.
for real. I mean, it's Kaido. I feel bad for her, too. Not to mention, he's freaking huge. How tall is Kaido again? I forget.
Google it.
Isn't he like 20-something feet or
Or
something? Or is that, am I thinking of Whitebeard? 700 and, wait. Appearance. Kaido is a middle-aged man who cuts an imposing figure due to his extreme height. 710 centimeters. What is that in inches? Who's taller? Big Mom? Big Mom's taller than him?
What?
Is Big Mom? Yeah, 22 feet. That's what I thought. Isn't Whitebeard like the same height? You know what's weird is Whitebeard is big. But like, yeah, 2110. So Whitebeard's only supposed to be like 2 inches shorter than him. That's what I thought. But Kaido looks like, compared to Whitebeard, Kaido looks like a giant. for some reason. And maybe Oda did this and made it more obvious. No, you can't make that argument because Whitebeard was supposed to look larger in life. I was gonna say maybe Kaido is supposed to look this large to make Luffy's accomplishment look bigger by beating him, make him look larger than life. But really, I don't know. Whitebeard's supposed to be about the same height, and he was tall. But Kaido just looks giant tall. Same with Big Mom's even taller. I didn't even know that. I didn't realize Big Mom was tall. Are they counting her hair? I feel like they're counting her hair. I wouldn't count her hair. I just count her actual head height. Like, I feel like counting the hair is cheating because she puts her hair up in like big bun things.
Yeah, she's got poofy hair.
Yeah, I don't feel like that's a fair comparison. But I mean, I don't know. It just seems weird because Whitebeard is big, but he if I had to guess, Whitebeard didn't seem like super like that much bigger than maybe Jinbei. Why did I think Whitebeard was the tallest?
I don't know. I thought that too.
Apparently, I mean, I always thought, I don't know. Maybe it's because if I haven't seen them like side by side, because I know Whitebeard's height. When you look at Kaido in front of Kid, Apu, and Hawkins, and then Luffy standing next to Whitebeard during Marineford, the heights are just weird. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm saying. They're all over the place. It's weird, but to me, Kaido was like made out to be a lot bigger than everybody. I don't know why. I thought Kaido was bigger than Big Mom, but I guess I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just going off memory wrong. Also, rest in peace to Pops. Yeah, definitely. He's one of my favorite characters from the series.
I love Whitebeard.
For sure. If I had to make an order of things at this point, not including any waifus, just like my top 3 favorite like serious characters with not counting anything like that, it'd probably be Luffy, Zoro, and then probably Whitebeard on there. Maybe Whitebeard tied with Zoro, to be honest. I don't know. I really like him a lot because I think he did a lot for the series, and I feel like him. I mean, I liked Ace too, but I feel like Whitebeard was the one who did more here. I feel like Ace just got captured, but Whitebeard, he was the one that started the entire new era for the second half. Like, he was responsible as, like, the pivot point for this. Don't get me wrong, Ace getting captured was obviously the catalyst. That was responsible. But ultimately, that's just what triggered Whitebeard to show up. So, I mean, how do y'all feel about Blackbeard? I don't
hate him as a villain.
No, I actually like Blackbeard.
Yeah, I don't hate his character.
I just think
he's kind of gross, but
he is. I think he's funny.
He is funny.
I think, and I feel like he's not as like. I had this weird feeling that Blackbeard is more just a typical pirate and not even so much just like evil. But I feel like he does have this agenda.
Subjective.
I mean, I still feel like he wants to take over the world. I just don't know that he's like. When you compare to what's actually ruling the world right now, it kind of makes Blackbeard just like how Kid said. I think this is a fair comparison. You guys remember when Kid said that the celestial dragons at the slave auction house made them look like saints, basically? That's how I feel about Blackbeard compared to, say, Emu and the Gorosei and them, and the celestial dragons. I feel like that they make Blackbeard kind of look like a saint. Yeah, he is just an opportunist. I hate Aki Inu more than Blackbeard. Blackbeard is just a pirate who's kind of just an actual pirate. Yeah, exactly. I don't, like, hate Aki Inu.
He's a dick.
I hate his character in the sense for what he did. But I don't hate his character in the sense that he's a legitimately good character for the story. But I feel that when Whitebeard broke his spine and smashed his face, he should have been killed.
Yeah, there should have been some kind of lasting damage there.
I feel like he shouldn't have gotten off that easy, because that was a very, exaggerated set of attacks, and I think that should have definitely done more to him. Maybe he left scars that we can't see. I don't know, but then again, how do you know what scars are from what? Because then he had the battle with Aokiji.
That's true.
Akino was doing his job, so his powers are awesome. Exactly, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I agree there that his powers are cool, and that he was doing his job, but at the same time, I feel like his job was being taken a little too seriously, because his job was like, but then again, I don't really blame Aki Inu for Ace's death, because Ace kind of, I mean, I do, but I don't, because Ace kind of brought it on himself. Let's be real.
He should have just kept running.
He should have turned around and listened to Pops. No, but what does he do? Oh, you said a yo daddy joke? Oh, I'm going to try and take on somebody I know I can't win against. Let me just fight an admiral. I don't think
To
that.
be fair, though, if Ace hadn't died, we wouldn't have gotten the 2-year time skip, probably.
Yeah, like he had to for the story to be where it's at. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that Ace. I can't. I mean, it was sad. It was very sad. But I also, looking back on it, don't think I can feel bad to the point where it's like, well, you could have just walked away.
Literally could have just kept running.
You didn't have to turn around.
No.
I know you sullied your father's name, but like, the war's over. You could just,
He
or you
can
can end it
talk
now.
all the shit he wants.
You're free. Like, the way I see it's kind of actually disappointing. It's like, Whitebeard just put down all of these people's lives to save you. Like, half of the freaking new world is with him. Yeah, because if Ace didn't die, Luffy wouldn't have a reason to stop and train.
Yeah,
Exactly. That's why
exactly.
it was necessary. But, like, when you think about it from the perspective of, like, what Ace actually did, he was so ungrateful to Whitebeard, in a way. I know he was trying to make it out to be like he was being grateful, but when you really look at it, it was, like, really an ungrateful way to go about things. All these people just laid down their lives for you. Whitebeard's basically on death's door. He laid down his life for you. He wants you to escape. He's telling all of his sons to run. And you're the only jackass who decides, I'm going to turn around and fight an admiral. The one that put a hole in my dad's face. I'm going to fight that one. See, that's the problem.
Oh,
is
man.
Ace thought he had an ego is the issue. He thought too much of himself. And that's ultimately what was his downfall. Because he thought too much of himself. And he was a cool character. I think he was great. He was Luffy's brother, obviously. He was very important overall. But you can't... I can't see how
You just...
in his mind... I mean, I know it was a split-second decision and he was upset. But, like, everybody just risked so much to save you. And what do? You turn around and you're like, oh yeah, I'm just going to throw all of that out the window. Bro got turned into a donut number one. Yeah, he did get turned to a... Yeah, I know. That's... It is what it is. I mean, it's just sad in a way. That's what makes it more sad is because, like... I
He
don't
could've
feel sad for
lived.
Ace. I feel sad for Whitebeard. I do. Because Whitebeard didn't deserve all that. Man, he went through so much trouble just to... Kind of just... It's like spitting in his face a little bit.
In a way, I suppose.
I mean, I guess if... Akihino should open a donut factory.
Oh my god.
He gets it from Roger. Remember when they said when someone speaks badly about Roger's companions, he can't help but do something about it?
That is true.
He said that. I remember that. I remember. This is the one time his daddy's genes, like his actual daddy genes, should have, like, not acted. They should have just not activated. Keep that trap card face down, buddy.
He even did stuff like that in his cover story.
I mean...
Oh,
shoot.
jeez.
I knocked the freaking tablet over. But yeah, he did, but... I don't know. I would just try to think of it from the perspective of, like, appreciation for what everyone's done for you at this point. I mean, even Oars... That was so sad, too, how much they put onto Oars. Oars Jr., I mean. How much, like... Not even just your father, in this regard. Not even just Whitebeard. But looking at it from the perspective, like, somebody like Oars, who valued Ace so much and fought so freaking hard.
Oh god, the flashbacks that were happening
With the
during
straw and
that.
everything.
Oh my god.
Dude, that would make me so
cried.
sad. That was honestly one of the saddest parts of Marineford. I wish Ace saw Sabo before he died. Yeah, I feel like he should have.
That would have been nice.
I mean, he literally, clearly he cared. I mean, literally has a tattoo on his arm to, in tribute to Sabo's death. And now, I mean, I'm sure Ace figured it out now in the afterlife. Obviously, Sabo ain't there. So you're looking around like, oh, where's Sabo? Nobody's there to explain it either, I don't think. Who's gonna tell him?
Unless it's like in Dragon Ball where you go to the desk.
Oh, and you go some like Bass like King. Yeah, I don't think it's that detailed. I don't know. We haven't seen any of the afterlife shenanigans from One Piece, so. Well, actually, that's not true. We have Brook. Oh, to his body?
I think Gecko Moria planned to take it, but I don't know if he actually got to.
I feel like if Gecko Moria was actually going to take Orz's body, that he would have taken it probably and we probably would have seen it when he showed up at Blackbeard's at Beehive. I feel like
Oh, true.
I feel like that's something he would have brought.
Hey, maybe he didn't want it. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe he didn't want it after Doflamingo cut the leg off, I think.
Gecko Moria stabbed it in the stomach.
He did indeed do that.
Well, him in the stomach. It was already basically dead at the time, but like he stabbed him in the stomach. Gecko Moria did say that he could just get Hog back to put him back together.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. I don't remember.
That's interesting. I wonder if we're gonna see a return of Ors Jr.'s body.
I hope not.
I mean, it would. Yeah. I mean, we kind of already went through. I mean, that would be sad. I don't really want to. You know, I'd rather not see that after actually thinking
Yeah,
about
that's
it.
what I'm saying.
I don't. I hope that Oda doesn't do that because that would just be sad. Or Ors Jr. doesn't deserve that, man. He doesn't.
No.
Yeah, that Ors Jr. was a good guy, and that makes me think that the original Ors probably didn't deserve it either. I mean, I feel like obviously he was called the Continent Puller for a reason, so I feel there was probably some stuff with the Void Sentry and stuff and whatever went down with him. I mean, clearly there was some reason. I'm pretty sure he was a criminal or something.
Yeah,
was
but
made to do
in
that.
One Piece,
I don't remember. I have to go
There-
back and look.
the concept of good and evil is kind of because
It's
it's kind
skewed.
of like there's this evil person, they just stole all this money, and then this person just took the money to feed their family and friends. So like
Yeah,
someone else
well,
is evil is another person's good in a way. I don't really know.
that, and it's like back and forth. It's like the people that are supposed to be good can do evil, but then at the same time, there's corruption all over the place too, especially like within the Marines and also in other places too. Like just an example, in the Roger flashback when Odin was with him, and they went to the village, or that one town, and he said, you know, make sure you pay for everything, whatever. Don't just take things. Basically, like there's no good or bad pirate in Marine. Yeah, that's what I'm getting. There's no like specifically good or bad, particularly, because like how do you judge it with the way the world's set up in this series? Because like for one with pirates, I mean technically there is good and bad pirates in the sense that Oda did classify them, I guess, because he did have that Peace Main and Morgan thing. So
That's
like he
true.
did make a line between, like in the sand between them, like rhetorically speaking. He did try to separate them, like, and that's Blackbeard would represent Morgan Earring, but Morgan Earring's not really like evil technically either. It's just doing what they want, like pillaging and all this. I mean, you could say the acts they commit are evil. Particularly, I'm not gonna like list the things that, you know, these types of pirates used to do, because some of it's like actually despicable by real life standards, and you could say it, but like, yeah, it's just a neutral ground for both sides. Yeah, it's like one's more like a chaotic neutral, and the other one's like a chaotic good. It's like putting them up like that. Like, it just depends on your definition of like what you first like see it as, because Blackbeard's goal is not, like, from what I can tell, inherently evil. It seems like I don't really get what his goal is anymore, because I thought his goal was to continue the Will of Rocks, and maybe it is, but like,
But now
why
he wants
make-
to be king of an island.
he's already king of Beehive. Why do you want to be recognized by the world government? Again, it's like he probably, you know what? Actually, scratch that. It's making more sense. This just clicked in my head, because this is what he did right when he captured Ace, and it was originally going to be Luffy, but he wanted to be a warlord so he could be good in the eyes of the world government for whatever reason. I don't know why he needs that, but that was his goal. And now it makes sense that he wants to be the king of an island and be the ruler of, like, an actual legitimate king and good in the eyes of the world government yet again. I hope Law didn't make him immortal. No, Law didn't make him. Law got away.
Yeah.
Yeah, Law got away. He
Wait,
didn't-
is that a spoiler? What if they didn't see the chapter yet?
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I don't know why they're watching a spoiler for 1086 then.
Oh, well, yeah, that's true.
'Cause we're talking about it.
Maybe you just forgot. I don't know.
Oh yeah, did he? I don't know. Maybe. Yeah, Law got
he
away.
wouldn't have
Beppo.
been able to make him immortal and still escape. It would have killed him.
Yeah, Beppo saved him because Beppo grabbed him, and jumped in the water. Who do y'all think's gonna die next?
No.
Vegapunk.
Uh.
Vegapunk.
Eh.
Maybe. I think he's gonna leave some tech with Luffy. I don't think he's gonna live like Frankie and stuff. I don't think he's. I don't think Vegapunk's gonna survive Egghead. I think he's gonna be the Whitebeard of Egghead. That's my
York's
ultimate.
definitely gonna have to go.
I think the world government's gonna get their way. It's being described too much like in a horror 2.0. I mean, I think it's gonna be a fight. I think it's gonna be a massive war, and I think Luffy might. I don't know if Luffy's gonna defeat the Gorosei. The way I see this, Sanji and Zoro are probably gonna be fighting the Admiral together. I don't know what's going on with the
I think
Seraphim.
that'd be a good thing for Zoro, considering what Kizaru did to Zoro.
If he does die, then what will happen to Punk Records? So, if he were to die, it depends. If somehow York, because obviously it's been stated that York believes the world government's coming to offer. So, if I had to guess, I can't imagine that York would somehow have the government change their mind. But I had an idea a while back that if they did change their mind, if they stop and they really think about it, York is on their side. Obviously they're not going to make her a celestial dragon, whichever Vegapunk it was going to be before we even knew who the traitor was. They're not gonna nobody is going to just be made a celestial. It doesn't work that way in the first place. But as far as York still working for the world government and keeping Punk Records around, it would make sense. Because unless St. J. Garcia Saturn, who was just revealed to be the god of science, so maybe he's actually smarter than Vegapunk. If he's from the Void Century and my alien theory is true, he could be smarter than Vegapunk, which would seem redundant. But York is so stupid, I can't take it. Tell me about it. Why? How can you be so smart and so dumb at the same time to think the world government is going to make you a celestial? I don't know how you could possibly be that much of a genius. It's like that one kid who's really book smart, right?
This is the most obvious betrayal plots against York / Vegapunk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just I get it's the Vegapunk agreed, and everybody was saying, oh, it's Lilith, but it was the obvious one at the time. But I don't know. I could see York still getting a job, continuing with funding, working for the world government, but I cannot see York getting celestial dragon status. That's not gonna happen. She should be grateful and consider it an honor and a great deal if they just let her live and continue to work for them. Because then that would make the world government still super mega dangerous, which they already are without Vegapunk, and clearly they know that, or they wouldn't be doing what they're doing. But I feel like Vegapunk himself is going to be the one that gets, York's not going to do it. It's not going to be York that kills him. It's going to be probably Saturn, I think, that's going to do this. But I could foresee Luffy. It would just make sense. If we're trying to set this up as another Marineford, obviously, Sabo's not going to, I don't think Sabo's going to die here. That's definitely not happening. I think Sabo will be involved, but I don't think Sabo's going to die. But I do think Vegapunk will. And I think that Luffy is going to try his best to defend Vegapunk. And I still want to see some sort of circling back to the whole Bonnie Kuma Vegapunk situation. I really want to actually come back to that, because we were in on that a while, a few chapters back now, and we still have gotten a flashback, I think, to Kuma climbing the wall once, and now
we haven't heard anything since.
Yeah, we haven't heard anything since, and I'm kind of wondering oh, are we gonna get an explanation on this soon? Don't get me wrong,
I want to hear what happens.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm actually happier we got what we got in a way, but I still want to know.
Yeah, the latest chapters have been pretty cool, but
I just hope it doesn't take Oda forever to go back.
I want to see the Kuma backstory.
But yeah, anyway, what I was saying was, the whole thing with Vegapunk, if Vegapunk is gonna die, right? The reason that I think this would happen is, say, Luffy is defending him. Luffy's obtained this level of power, but there's still more for him to obtain. He can still go higher. The ceiling doesn't end there. Clearly, Shanks has shown us that if we're to believe that, say, the way I see it, Kid and Law are both a half a Luffy. That's kind of, in terms of power. That's kind of how I see it.
That's a way to explain it.
And together, they make one Luffy or Kaido. Or, I guess in their case, one Big Mom. So I guess that's how I scale it in my head. Together, that's what they equal. And you could argue that Shanks caught Kid off guard and sliced the big rail gun and it blew up in his face, but he Big Mom got a lot of hits in on Kid.
Do you think Kid's coming back?
No, I think Kid's done. Just the wording, I think, it just screams. I mean, it's a dumb way kind of to get rid of him, in all honesty.
It was too quick, in my opinion.
Yeah, because you gave him all this build up and you built him up, but But then again, people didn't. If you look at it from a popularity perspective, Kid wasn't really a whole lot of people's favorites.
I mean, that's true, but still.
That's why he had the Eustace Captain Mid nickname.
It was friggin' brutal, man.
I mean, it was, but it was just maybe this was all his purpose was to be dollar store
Getting
Shanks.
murked.
Yeah, maybe that was his ultimate purpose, just to showcase how strong Shanks is. Because like we know that if he's like half a Luffy, that means that Shanks might be able to two-shot Luffy. If you do weird math with, you shouldn't power scale One Piece in the first place. I mean, you can a little more than you used to be able to, because it used to be like more creative. It used to be like, oh, the devil fruits are like, you had to come up with a weakness or something. But after the time skip with hockey, it's like, well, you can scale now, because it's like, well, regardless of whatever your power might be, people are less worried about the power, more worried about the hockey. I think the only exception here now is probably Imu and the Gorosei, because if they do have some weird alien power that's not devil fruit or hockey, and they can lay their hands on them, or maybe even Saint J. Garcia Signer or some weird technology. And another thing I don't get, why pull guns on Cobra if you're not even going to use them?
That's a good question.
Kid is very impressive because he's only lost to Kaido, Big Mom, Shanks, and Ben Beckman.
That's true. He has. I mean, yeah, he lost to nothing but greats, I guess, if you think about it. I mean, there's worse people to lose to.
That's true. That is very true.
You could always lose to, like, Scratchman a Pooh.
I don't like Apu.
I don't like him either.
He's kind of annoying.
That's
I don't
why.
really like his voice and his, like, I guess, tics.
I think the worst person that you could lose to, probably, like, I don't want to, like, go out there and say something stupid, but I feel like
Say something stupid.
Well, I think Kid will be saved by Shanks. He didn't really tell Dory and Broggy to do that attack and make them drown.
That's true.
I mean,
he didn't really look happy with it.
No, he didn't. But at the same time, I kind of feel like Shanks might have dealt the death blow. I don't feel like he actually like was alive after the
I don't know
commissary.
about that. I don't know if he like died after Shanks' attack, but
Did
he
you see what
definitely
he
would
looked
have
like?
drowned.
He was I think he was a little bit more than unconscious, and the way the narrator worded that,
He seemed like he just wanted to knock them out and leave him wake up later.
yeah, I mean maybe, but he seemed like, I mean yeah, but the way that the narrator described it's just what gets you. The kid pirates, what do you say, annihilated or destroyed? Either way,
I think it was annihilated.
yeah, I think they said annihilated. The narrator did, but when it came to Law, it was just the Heart Pirates have been defeated.
He was surviving a lot of hits from Kaido and Big Mom while having damage transferred to Hawkins.
That's what I was gonna bring up earlier.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what I lost my train of thought, but that is what I was gonna say earlier. Is like he could take some hits, so like either Shanks would have to be like that ridiculous, which he is, but the thing is, you could also argue that Shanks did blow up the railgun in his face on top of it, and that railgun was gonna destroy all those ships in a matter of 10 seconds. So it's not like that in itself was weak, but the fact that Shanks did that with such powerful hockey and didn't just take Kid out, but also Killer. I mean, Killer wasn't, from what I could tell, as bad as what Kid got, because Kid was the direct attack, or he was the one that took the direct hit. But yeah, I guess Kid can take some serious damage. I think it was just a matter of the way Oda made the circumstances. Obviously, that attack probably would have knocked Shanks' attack probably would have knocked Kid out regardless. So I could see that. But like, I think the railgun, Shanks blowing it up in his face, I think that might have just added extra to it. And I could kind of see how the railgun blowing up in his face could cause that.
And he used Roger's attack Divine Departure on a larger scale.
Exactly. Yeah, it was a much bigger attack. So it's not like it was like, even the one that hit Odin was not, like, it looked like Shanks's was stronger. And that might have just been intentionally. Maybe Roger could have used a stronger version of that. He probably could have. But, like, at the same time, Shanks, I think Rogers was more messing around because he knew who he was going up against versus, or at least had an idea that it was, like, Whitebeard's crew or whatever. And I don't feel like they had an actual beef. But when it comes to, like, Shanks's crew, like, do you have Shanks stronger than Big Mom and Kaido or the same as them? I think Shanks is stronger than them, if I'm being honest. Because I don't think Big Mom could have done what Shanks did. And Kaido, I don't know if he's that much stronger than Kaido. I don't know. I don't think if he's stronger than Kaido, it's not by that much. Maybe. I don't know. It depends. If Kaido could have, I'm sure, if Kaido were to have knocked out, that's the thing is Kaido was clashing with Big Mom, and they weren't that different. Like I know Kaido's stronger than her, but in reality they're not that far apart. It's just I didn't see. Granted, the future sight that Shanks has is kind of cheating when you're looking at it from a strength perspective. He might not be that much stronger. He might just be really fast and can see the future that well. So since he can do those things, it makes him seem stronger. But his hockey is ridiculous because we also didn't see Kaido use Wi-Fi hockey. I mean, we've seen Conquerors. This is the first time we've seen that. So I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, Kaido was also scaring off the admirals, just like what Shanks did with Rokugyu. That was the whole reason.
But weird question, but who do you think has more potential, Shanks or Dragon? Dragon.
Ooh.
Probably Dragon. And the reason maybe. Well, the reason I would think Dragon, Kaido
Do you
does
think
have
the
future sight
Moisters
too.
picked that up?
I don't know. But yeah, Kaido does have future sight too. But I'm just saying, I think Shanks is I don't know. How far could Kaido see in the future? Was it as far as Shanks? Because Shanks would have to be at least 10 seconds. I would think, from based off what Kid said. I think. It might be a little more or less. But when you think about like Mihawk, since
Maybe it's about the same.
yeah, when you think about since they're supposed to be like rival powers, the fact that Mihawk had the clairvoyant as his was going to be Mihawk the clairvoyant as an epithet.
He didn't bother using it until later on in the fight.
Yeah. But it's also really hard to say just how good it is by comparison. It's like trying to compare. I don't know. I think that Shanks probably could. Because if I remember right, didn't Kaido and King, weren't they the only two that bothered going to try to get Whitebeard at Marineford? Shanks, I don't know if he showed up. I mean, it wouldn't. Unless it was the core crew. I don't know, because Kaido did back off of Shanks, and he did have Shanks in like his top most powerful people. I don't know. Maybe. If I had to guess, I'm going to say probably Shanks is probably stronger than Kaido. But Dragon, I think Dragon, just because it's Luffy's dad, I think he's going to probably at least be as strong, if not stronger. I think Dragon's probably going to be surprisingly strong. Just because I feel like Sabo's attacks are like watered down versions of Dragon's with like the Dragon Claw, hence his name. And obviously they're going to have different powers. I think Dragon is some sort of wind type fruit or storm fruit or something, which could be extremely broken, because we saw how broken a weather, being able to control the weather was against Shiki.
It's probably far because he used it to copy Snake Man's arm changing movements after a few seconds.
Yeah. Alright, I remember what you're talking about. So yeah, it's probably similar. I don't know.
If you're going Shanks versus Kaido, wouldn't it make sense to take into account the fact that Luffy has
to surpass Shanks?
Yeah.
Thinking about that, yeah, I guess it would make
And
sense
he's
that
already
Shanks
beat Kaido?
Yeah, well, he beat him after Kaido got beaten up a bunch, which is why people think that
Yeah,
Kaido
that's
might come back.
true. That is true.
And he might, because Kaido's skin's ridiculously overpowered. So, like, it's insane defense, so he might survive Magma. I don't know. I mean, you remember just that powerful attack from Brook wasn't even able to, like, penetrate Big Mom's skin. And Kaido's is worse. Luffy did lose, like, 5 times. Yeah, he did. I think it was it 5 or 4? It doesn't matter. He did lose a bunch.
Yeah, he got beat.
Yeah, so overall, I don't think it really even, I don't know if it matters, unless we see them come clashing. I'd have to really go back and, like, dig into it 100%.
Kaido was doing a lot, plus he was carrying Onigashima the whole fight.
Yeah, he was.
Maybe
That's what I'm saying.
Make a video on it. Go back and jot down all the facts.
Yeah, maybe. I can go back and, like, do, like, a direct comparison, but I was actually in the middle, because of 1062, I actually should finish editing that. I was doing
the episode.
Yeah, the episode 1062. I was doing a, which I did most of it. I haven't finished it. I recorded it, but I need to finish editing it. A video on, King versus, King versus Katakuri, because I really like getting thrown into the meat grinder. And I just want to see how angry people get. I mean, I'm just gonna, I don't really know 100%. I think it's circumstantial with that, but, like, But yeah, in Kaido's case, I don't know. I feel like Luffy got to that same level of power, but I don't feel like that form has that same durability.
I would. It's a very close fight, but Shanks would win.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I feel like Shanks would win. Like that's what I feel like Shanks has to win because for him to be further into the story, it doesn't make sense for him to lose to Kaido because then you would be regressing, wouldn't you? You'd just be going backwards. Overall, though, yeah, Kaido he'd probably lose to Shanks.
He's also known as the killer of observation hockey.
Yeah, that too. But we haven't really gotten to see what that means yet. Like, I'm sure he can just negate observation hockey, and I'm sure that's what that means. So he probably could just negate Kaido's. I don't feel like Kaido's hockey is on Shanks' level. Because how else is Shanks gonna, like, compete with everybody? To have that status. And the other thing is, if you look at Shanks as a character, he's defending. Like, his fleet doesn't really back him up. They're kind of a liability, and they think it's a joke. They know they're a liability. Like, they know they are. But Shanks acts as the singular defender with his crew, like his main crew. Like, they just defend his fleet. So overall, Shanks is honestly, he's gotta just be stronger. I mean, logically speaking, it makes sense. I mean, now I could be wrong. Don't get me wrong. Oda could surprise us, or maybe Kaido could come back stronger and surprise us and do something. I don't think they're ever gonna fight.
Cool.
Yeah, but I don't think that fight's ever gonna happen. But I would love to see if Kaido would come back and be in this war and like have respect for. I don't want Big Mom back, not Big Mom, just Kaido. Big Mom can fry, but
they said he used Advanced Conqueror's hockey to hide his presence.
Oh, okay, so that's what he did. Was that in Volume 4 Billion? Is that where they stated that at? Because I don't remember. I looked over it a while back what they wrote about it from the translations, but I haven't looked at it in a while. But, what was I going to say? The thing with,
I feel like I'm the only one who likes Big Mom.
I mean,
I don't really hate Big Mom. I just don't like her whole wedding cake thing.
I liked her when she was hot because for some reason Oda made her less annoying at that time for that miniature flashback.
When she was a kid, she was alright because, well, she was a kid.
Yeah, I mean,
her
she
outbursts
was very
were kind of odd, but
it makes sense because nobody sensed a memory for it.
Yeah, nobody saw him coming up.
But they were very Big Mom.
You would think a Kainu who just, but then again, I think that Shanks is on that level that Whitebeard was in his prime, or at least maybe not that strong, but like closer to that. And I feel like a fight between Shanks and a Kainu, I feel like Shanks would probably win that fight. And the only reason I feel that way is because I feel like Prime Beard would have won that fight. But since Whitebeard was dying of an undisclosed One Piece disease, which I assume is some sort of, I don't know, I'm not even going to get into what it could be, but
it could be a multitude of things.
You could take your guesses on what Whitebeard was sick with. But as far as Whitebeard's power, he was struggling to use his hockey, and like he was having a very difficult time, like actually, if hockey's that important, then even though he was putting out an insane level of power, I feel like had Whitebeard been at perfect health, like say that he was like, in the same health as Garp, well, how strong Garp is right now with the Galaxy Fist and whatever, Galaxy Impact. I think that if he was at that same level of health, even at his age, he probably would have had a chance of beating a Kainu, at least a better one, especially if he hadn't been stabbed by Squard and taken a bunch of damage. But say that he couldn't. Prime Beard, for sure. I think Prime Beard would just mow the floor with a Kainu, because he's fit, he's younger, he's got the stamina, all that stuff. I mean, obviously he wasn't weak as an old man, but like, I just feel like Prime Beard or Roger probably would beat a Kainu. I feel like Garp would have beaten a Kainu, honestly, from what we've seen. I don't feel like a Kainu would have won that. I think that Sengoku holding Garp down was like foreshadowing of just how strong Garp is, because, I mean, I feel like it would probably go, plus Garp was 2 years younger at the time, but, yeah, exactly. Every strong person dies to a disease. You know who's probably next? Rayleigh. That's probably who's next.
No!
What are both your favorite characters in the entire series?
Ooh.
It depends on how we're ranking them. Because it varies for me a little bit. If I go by Like, legitimately, I mean,
Kind of a hard question to answer, honestly.
I don't want to just be like, oh, Luffy's my favorite character. I do like, obviously, he's the main character, so like, I'm gonna like him. But if I had to pick like an otherwise favorite character, this is gonna come off the cuff, but Brook is one of my top two.
I like that.
I can't just say. I mean, dude's like, pardon me, can I see your panties? I mean,
funny.
can you like, how can you not like that? I mean, except for
In his whole 2-year time skip, he was Satan.
yeah, that was great. Oh, I
The
don't need to see any.
ritualistic panties.
I don't need to see any male panties. Thank you. Like, yeah, I could. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I like Zoro a lot too.
Yeah, I like Zoro.
I like. I don't know who I think I like Zoro a little bit more than Sanji, but like if I guess yeah, if I had to pick like my actual top two,
I'm not gonna pick between the two of them.
or like my actual favorite. I also like Nami a lot just because
I like Robin.
I do, but wait, I don't know. If I had to pick, damn, that's such a hard choice for me to make, dude. I don't
There's a
even
lot
know.
of options.
You're gonna have to let me come back to you on that. I can't give an answer off the top of my head right this. I really have to think about it because like I never really like sat there and thought about it because I generally don't just like like I know characters I
We
really
just
like.
have these big clusters
I
of favorite characters.
where I group them together
Yeah.
certain ways. So like if I had to pick like my favorite character from the entire series, it gets difficult. Doflamingo, Sanji, Luffy, and Whitebeard. I mean that's agreeable. I could say that.
Those are good choices.
I could say I agree with that. I just
What
like
if you pick a top 5? Pick a top 5.
a top 5. Probably, definitely Brook and Zoro, Nami, Luffy, and Whitebeard. Yeah, that's probably my top 5.
There you go.
It's easier with that if I'm picking a top 5. What's yours? I know you're basically just gonna probably the same thing and replace Nami with Robin.
Well,
Yeah, Zoro and Katakuri.
oh, Katakuri, that's a good one too.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because it's a little bit
I
like,
like Ace, even though he's kind of a dum-dum.
Ace is a dum-dum. But Zoro, Luffy, Sanji, Doflamingo, and Kaido. You know, it's hard for, this is the problem, is there's too many characters in the series, and like, I like a lot of characters, but sometimes they
Yeah.
don't all just come straight to mind. Like, Kaido didn't even come to my brain. I don't know if I'd put him in the top, though, for me. He
He's
is
not
funny,
the top
though.
5, but he's a funny guy.
I don't know. I mean, there's certain aspects about certain characters. Like, don't get me wrong, there's stuff I love about characters, and there's other things I don't like, of the same character that I love. Like, for example, don't get me wrong, I like, Brook singing Doc Sake, but at the same time, he sung it a lot. So, at least, like, not so much, like, for the manga issue, like, just in the anime, specifically. Like,
Because
they
in
could've-
in the manga, it just doesn't hit the same.
Well, obviously, it's because it's words on paper.
Yeah.
Garbage. Oh, yeah, fucking... I gotta rewrite it. I forgot.
Rewrite it.
Garp is up there. I gotta rewrite it. I'm replacing, who did I say? You know
I
what?
don't even remember who you said.
Zoro, Brook, I remember, it was Brook, Zoro, Luffy, Whitebeard, and Nami. Or the other way, Nami, then Whitebeard. So, I'm replacing... You know what? I like Brook, but I'm sorry. I think I like Garp more, actually. I'm replacing Garp with Brook. You know, this series... this series is the GOAT when you want to put every character in top 5, exactly. It's a problem.
There's just too many good characters. It's hard to pick.
It really is. It's great. I don't know, man. I
like
gotta think about
Monet.
it. Yeah, well, you just like monster girls. So, I mean, you have that bias there a little bit. But, I mean
I
she's
guess.
not bad looking for a character.
And she's not a bad character either.
I just think it'd be weird. Like, imagine having sex with her.
Oh my god.
Chicken legs. Would they be rough and
Imagine.
scaly?
I mean,
But then it's just a harpy in general. Like, imagine, like, if you played Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, you have sex with a harpy lady. It would still be... Wait, does harpy lady even have... She just has chicken feet. She doesn't have chicken legs. Or bird feet.
oh wait, her legs are normal?
Let me fact check that. I might be wrong.
Hold on for a second. Oh, they said baby 5.
Oh yeah, baby five. Yeah, she's something.
Her personality is very interesting.
She's not bad looking, but her personality is the thing. Like, I thought it was funny when we first get introduced to her trying to assassinate Doflamingo. That was like,
I like
it
it.
almost made you feel like she was gonna. I mean, she technically was. She did become an ally by the end of things. I guess you could say it was foreshadowing a little bit, because she tries to assassinate Doflamingo. Then, what's his name from that one? What's it? One of Luffy's Grand Fleet generals. From Don Jin Chao's army. I think it was, I don't remember what the hell the army's called. I don't remember off the top of my head. It begins with an H. I don't remember the word, but
H.
I think it begins with an H. Also, Harpy Lady, yeah, she has normal legs but chicken feet.
No, make it
Coffee.
bigger.
I can see it from, but then she got the outfit on.
Yeah, make it bigger.
Yeah, see, look. I mean, she's got leather on. No, she doesn't. No, she's got purple, but they're normal. Monet's just got like chicken legs, but she's pale, so like you can't count that because her skin's pale. So you can't count that.
I mean, yeah, I suppose.
Senor Pink, yeah, Senor
Yeah, that's
Pink's
a good one too.
He's very hard boiled, but I think I honestly like Senor Pink's entourage as much as I like Senor Pink. Not even because it's just because it's a bunch of. I just think it's hilarious that
They're
they're
funny.
Okay, now who do y'all hate the most in One Piece?
Ooh.
Oh, that's probably easy. If I had to pick who I hate the most, that's easier than who I like actually.
Oh, I like Bellamere too.
Yeah, but who I hate would probably be, man. That's actually. See, the problem is there's actually a list.
Sponda. I
Sponda?
don't like Sponda.
That's a random choice. I hate Spawnum the most. Yeah.
Oh, Spondem. Oops.
Spawnum. I don't like him either, but at the same time, if I had to, I don't like him, but like, he was an ass, but at the same time, I can think of more asshole people. I'll have to, like, I don't know, if I had to pick
Yeah, but
one
he was
person,
just a
though.
dick solely to be a dick.
He was a dick solely to be a dick. I mean, what
That
he did
was
to
his
Tom
whole
was screwed.
existence.
Yeah,
Like, be
Imposter
a dick.
Luffy is my most hated one.
Oh gosh.
I don't know. He did a pretty good song. We were. Orochi is. Yeah, I don't like Orochi, to be honest. He's creepy. Thinking about it, he's up there.
Yeah, he's up there for me too.
But if I had to pick one
What a
person,
nasty.
I
Oh,
would say.
Charlos. That
Yeah,
one too.
I
don't
would
like him either.
actually. I think Charlos is my least favorite
Yeah,
of
he's
ever.
a nasty
Charlos'
too.
father, actually, I think is worse than Charlos.
They're both nasty.
I would say both of them are my top hated together because I just grouped them together. I genuinely can't stand them. Orochi was a waste of panel time every single time he showed up. Yes, he was, and he kept showing back up. He wouldn't
Yeah.
die. He just wouldn't go away. Slice off one head, he comes back. Slice off
That's
another, he
'cause
comes
he's
back.
A Hydra.
Oh, and let's not forget the spirit of Kanjuro and the Kurozumi.
Yeah.
Feeding people the leftover small fruits pissed me off. Yeah, that too.
Mhm.
That was screwed up.
That was.
And it's really screwed. Like, none of them got the power either. They all got defectives.
And it's also kind of fucked up. Well, it's not kind of fucked up. It's hella fucked up. That he was like taunting them for it when he shot. What's his name? I forgot. Oh no.
Oh, the daimyo. What's his name?
The poofy hair
yeah,
blue
poor
guy.
Yeah, Killer didn't deserve that. I know who you're talking about. I can't remember his freaking name either. I know who you're talking about. He was a daimyo. I know that. I can't remember what his freaking name is off the top of my head. What was his name? Ebisu. No, it's Ebisu
no,
Town. Ebisu
wait.
Town. What is it? No, not
That was
It
close.
was close. No, it's not Ebisu.
It's in the correct area. Hold on.
Smiling and laughing for the rest of your life is horrible. Yeah, it's a horrible thing to do to anybody. I mean,
Yeah,
but Kaido
little-
is just as responsible as Orochi was, somewhat, because
Little
Kaido was
Coco.
defending it. I mean, Kaido was almost like Orochi's enabler, in a way, because Orochi wouldn't have been able to get away with all that stuff with the samurai being around Oden had Kaido not been there. So
I
in a
guess
way,
that's
Kaido
true.
allowed it.
Hold on, I'm
But I
about to
don't
look
hate
up his
Kaido
name.
for it, because, I mean, he's got good aspects. I just don't... Denjiro. No, not Denjiro. No. Denjiro was,
That's the long-haired fella.
Yeah, that's the one... Yeah, that's the one that sliced off Orochi's head. No, it was the other guy. The guy they put up on the cross. And crucified him, then shot him. That's blue-haired Afro guy. That's gonna bring it up.
Why did it bring?
Why did it bring up Hyogoro?
Oh, it's Yasui. It did bring it up.
Yeah, yes. Okay, I was off. Yeah, Yasui.
Yep, there he is.
Yeah. Even Kaido said it's a sick joke. Yeah, he did say that, didn't he? He did say that. He didn't care enough to do anything about it, though, is the thing. He could have stopped him. He could have just been like, no. But, Kaido's not going to say no, because why does Kaido care? He doesn't care what happens as long as he can do what he wants to do. His goal was kind of to plunge. It was a weird, twisted goal, though. Like, I'm going to change the world by plunging the world into war. That's going to somehow be the goal that
it'll definitely be a change.
It would be something. It would probably put the world in chaos, at least, I guess, if you wanted to achieve that much. I don't know, yeah, I think that Kaido wasn't deep down his heart, though, just seeing, like, the flashbacks and stuff with, like, King and everything. Kaido, I can't say he was as heartless, but I can say that, in the case of Orochi, he was just an ass. He's definitely up there as one of my most hated. It's just, I honestly feel just as bad for the small fruit users as well, and I feel pretty bad for Hiyori as well for having to deal with him directly and basically be the man's sex slave. Implied, obviously, but, that's basically what her job was, as him being the shogun. And that disgusts me just as much as the whole thing, because, like, the guy killed her father. She was being forced to have sex with the murderer of her father. When you think about it, that's really screwed up.
Yeah.
But then again, so is the small fruit, and people hanging themselves. I'm not going to say, YouTube might not like that, actually. It's his own equality and freedom, a world where war decides a man's true worth. Well, yeah, it's basically how his whole crew was set up. The Beast Pirates was like, whoever's strongest is the top leader. It's the jungle. Yeah, I'm going to say that. I wasn't done with it yet. But, it's kind of how it is. Just set up, like, to be the world's strongest is how I viewed it. But at the same time, it's not the smartest way to go about it in the first place, since Kaido's technically not the strongest in the world, it seems. So he wouldn't even have been that strong. Do not want to live in that kind of world.
True.
Yeah, nobody would. It's not a good world. That's the thing. It's like, why... I get the Beast Pirates, the concept or whatever, but at some point it's a little bit like,
a little much.
Yeah, a little bit much. Like, maybe you should consider something else. Which I can understand since he fought more since he was 10. Well, yeah, if you're, like, mind screwed by it, I've, like, might as well have been, like, PTSD'd from it. Obviously it wasn't shown to have it, but, like...
that does make sense, though.
It would make sense if you're grown up that way, that's all you know. But at the same time, not everybody else is gonna want to do that. It's surprising that he had so many henchmen and people in his arm. Obviously he forced most of them in. His methods were not like, except for short of maybe King, maybe Queen, and the top people. Short of that, it was like, you're gonna join my crew, or I'm gonna torture you till you do. That's what he was gonna do to Luffy. He literally beat Thunder Baga with Luffy. It was like, Twerp's pretty strong. I'm gonna make him join. He'll break. We'll crush his spirit, and then he'll work for me. And that didn't happen. But it worked on some of the supernovas, or the worst generation. It worked on Hawkins. It worked on Apu. It isn't like, isn't like he didn't manage it and make people join that way, because he did. It's not a good way to get loyalty, though.
Oh, absolutely not. It's about as bad as a Davy back fight.
Yeah, when you think about it, it's probably worse than a Davy back fight. When you think about it, Kaido was on his way to having the strongest military might in the world. I want to live in a world where my friends can eat as much as they like. I'm literally Luffy. Bro, I want to eat something. I got some hamburgers I want to make, but no, that's off topic. But when the thing with Kaido, though, yeah, he was, but I don't know, Big Mom's was arguably comparable, because Big Mom had, like, kind of an unlimited, well, not unlimited, but with the Peacekeepers, she had a hell of an army. They might not have been the strongest. And yeah, it's not like her crew was particularly weak. It was almost like comparable. It's like Kaido was just a little bit above her in terms of everything. If I had to guess, I would say, like, if you're comparing the rest of the crew, you could probably directly make the comparisons between crews between Katakuri and King. And if I had to say, I would say that King would. It's situational. But I think that Katakuri has a weakness that King doesn't have in particular, that would basically hinder him in his fight with King. And I'd say that this weakness is also what hindered him in his fight with Luffy. And it's not that he doesn't respect the power of his opponents, it's that he respects the power of his opponents too much. So if he's fighting a powerful opponent that's around his level that he respects and he can't just put down like he did with Luffy, where he grew to respect him through that long fight, I could see if somebody in the Beast Pirates were to interfere, just like how Flampe interfered with the fight, which I actually said this in the video I was going to put out, but how Flampe interfered in the fight with Luffy and Katakuri, and used the nerve agent or whatever on Luffy's leg, and then Katakuri got that stab in on him. I could see if something like that were to theoretically happen, since obviously they're probably not going to be fighting alone on an island if they were fighting. If they were, then I'd say that it could go probably either way. It's hard to say. I mean, because the only reason I would say that is because Katakuri would likely know King's weakness. Just because Big Mom knows King's race, so I would assume that she would know King's weakness as well.
And inform him.
Yeah, since she's informed. I mean, the Beast Pirates are definitely stronger than Big Mom Pirates, from the commanders to the Flying Six members and even the fodders. He had the numbers: Flying Six, 500 small users, Hawkins, Apu, 35,000 soldiers. Was it... How many... Did Big Mom have 20,000? Or... Did Kaido have 35? Yeah, he did have 35. He did. He had 35. Yeah. So, yeah. So that would be right. Yeah, he would probably... I just think that Big Mom, the only advantage she has is that she could just keep making them, is the thing. She literally can just use her soul to make them out of nothing. Like, she can make trees her soldiers. It just depends on when she runs out of soul. But that's why she was, I think, collecting soul tax from everybody on those islands. So she could keep making homies, but I don't know. Obviously, Kaido's crew is stronger than Big Mom's. I'm just making a direct first make comparison. And in that regard, I would think Katakuri, if it was crew against crew, at least the main crew, which obviously is big for Big Mom, bigger than Kaido's main cast with, like, Tobi Roppo and everything. I mean, obviously there's, like, the headliners and all that stuff, but, like, I wish we saw more of Marco and Wano or in general.
Oh,
so
true.
do I.
Yeah, I agree.
Marco was stronger than both King and Queen at the same time. Like, he was handling both of them. Honestly, Whitebeard's crew was quality over quantity, dude. Whitebeard was strong. Not to mention the samurai ninjas. Yeah. Yeah.
I agree.
I totally agree on that. As far as, though, like, what I was saying with King and Katakuri, though, I think Marco would beat the crap out of both King and Katakuri at the same time, I'm going to be honest with you. Or at least he'd get close. But, like, if I had to say so, I would say that the way this would go, King would probably win this fight. Like, even if Katakuri, let's just say the only way Katakuri has a chance is, like, Katakuri does know the weakness and it's literally one-on-one, and if he's theoretically able to keep up with King's super speed and strength, which I don't know that he can. I know Katakuri's fast. I don't know if he's that fast. But he'd have to be able to hit King while King is moving in his speed form. That's the problem.
Fast.
And maybe he could. I don't know. I'm not... There's no way to know. And I don't go by bounty for these two, because bounties are going to be skewed in King's favor.
Yeah.
Because King is a Lunarian, though the government will literally just pay you 100 million berries to tell him, information that may or may not be correct about King, just because of his race.
That is true.
Well, Marco was struggling against King and Queen because none of them transformed into their hybrid forms. Yeah, I mean, he was struggling. Yeah, he was. Yeah, I mean, he was struggling, but, like, at the same time, it was interesting just to see that he was, like, handling them for a bit. But he did end up struggling against them at a point. But, like, yeah, I mean, well, actually, wasn't King in his Pteranodon, or his Pteranodon form when they did that fight? Or was Marco just transformed? I don't know. I also feel like Marco wasn't, like, actually trying his hardest, because he was kind of tired, but I kind of feel like he could have done more had he actually tried. I just feel like he didn't want to. I feel like he saw Zoro and Sanji were there and, like, yeah, I'm gonna let them handle it. Even though they made it out like he was done. He didn't look that beaten up. Like, if he stood back up, he was gonna do something. I don't know. He did a lot, but he didn't do enough. Like he I don't know. It's really, but at the same time, he was also healing people with his flames against the ice oni virus. Yeah, he
That's
was.
true.
Well, it depends. Like, do his flames have a limit though? Like, I know he can like regenerate himself and stuff, and regenerate other people's.
He might
Which
have
is
to
another thing.
focus
Why
on it.
why weren't the flames used in Marine for? Like, I would have just not thought of that yet, because I feel like that would have been very helpful for his father. Why weren't
You
the
know
healing
what?
flames used on his father?
Yeah.
Or Ace or anybody? I mean, Ace obviously was screwed. I don't think Ace was living through that, but at the bare minimum, there are flames that's supposed to, heal you. The Phoenix flames. So, I mean, I feel like that would have been a good idea to use on Whitebeard, at least.
Maybe
to
it just
try.
wasn't thought up yet.
That's the only thing I could think of.
Unless it was an ability he couldn't do yet.
I mean, he already had the flames.
I mean, yeah, but that doesn't mean he can put them on other people.
I mean, I guess, maybe. Yeah. Because it's less effective on other people. I mean, yeah, but it would have been better than nothing. I mean, especially considering the fact the doctors certainly weren't going to be doing anything. Which is also strange, because wasn't it stated Marco was the Whitebeard crew doctor after when we got to Wano? I think it was, but as for the actual Marineford War, I don't think it was, because they had an entirely different guy running around playing doctor. I mean, not playing, but being doctor. I don't remember. But, oh yeah, the thing I was saying, I want to finish that thought on the King Katakuri thing. The fatal flaw thing is that I feel like Katakuri would have too much respect for King if the crews were around, and that Queen would probably do something stupid, like just fire a shot to like help King out. And judging off how King's attitude would probably be, if we could probably base it off of Kaido's attitude, where Kaido, when he was fighting Odin literally was tricked by that old woman who I don't remember the name of. It's not that important, I guess, but turning into Momonosuke, acting like Momonosuke was captured, and Kaido getting that hidden basically because of this cheating.
I didn't like that.
Yes, but Kaido didn't like it, but at the same time he still took the victory, and he still ended up offing Odin in the end of things. I mean, him and Orochi still went through with murdering Odin. So I feel like King would probably be the same way. Like, he'd probably accept the help, wouldn't be happy about it, but like also wouldn't do any. Yeah, he'd do it anyway. I don't feel like there would be a reason for him not to. Katakuri was struggling against a weaker version of Luffy and Whole Cake. Yeah, well, there's that too. I mean, it also depends though. I mean, it's like, the thing is, you gotta compare it to, like, how strong is... Is Zoro... I would say Zoro now is probably stronger than Whole Cake Luffy at this point. There's almost no doubt. I think that King was probably stronger than Katakuri. From where I was trying to give Katakuri some benefit of the doubt, but like, in most situations, the only thing that I could see that gives him any chance is Future Sight. And even then, I don't know that his Future Sight is... I mean, King has observation hockey. It's just like, I don't know how good your Future Sight is going to be helping you when you're against somebody who's faster than you. So, like, you might be able to, like, see it coming. And you can also
but
see
are you fast enough to stop it?
Yeah, that, and you have the whole thing with Flampe, right? Like, when Flampe was firing the darts, it happened in his Future Sight, but he didn't see it. Yeah, Zoro made Kaido dodge an attack and scare Hybrid Kaido. That's true, he did. Luffy should have definitely been beaten by Katakuri. Yeah.
He was on the verge of it at one point, wasn't he?
Yeah, I mean, Luffy was like... Katakuri was supposed to be like a big power jump, but the funny thing is, when you think about it, compared to the Yonkos, it's not. I mean, he made it one... If it's my foot. If you're going to do anything by bounty, that's 1/4 of the way there. Technically, if you want to try and scale it without, you shouldn't, but if you want to scale it with bounty, I mean, that means Luffy had to get 4 times stronger to level up. I mean, if you want to... You can't really use that as a gauge, but if you want to use something, that's the closest I think you can get to really getting it, I guess. Would be that. But I don't know. Overall, I just think that Kaido... I think his crew probably would just completely destroy Big Mom's. She wasn't scared of him, but like, yeah, the gap between Emperor and Commander is huge. Exactly. It's a massive gap. And we saw how Whole Cake Luffy did just against Big Mom, who's weaker than Kaido. He couldn't hit her. Luffy versus Katakuri was canonically 11 hours straight, right? Yes, I think. Let me check.
Double check, yes.
Hold on. How long did Luffy fight Katakuri?
You spelled fight wrong.
21. I don't want episodes. Tell me. I am not looking to CBR for info. Get out of here with that. That's no, I don't want. Wait, oh, that was. It was said Luffy had been fighting Cracker for 11 hours.
Oh, I bumped the mic. Hold on, let me try to word it.
Wait, cause it's saying that. Why is it saying Cracker? He didn't fight Cracker for that long, did he? Him and Nami weren't there for 11 hours. But this is right. It was said Luffy has been fighting with him for 11 hours. It's a lot of time. Luffy only needs a 10-minute break to turn back to Gear 4. Did you mean Katakuri?
12 and a half
Luffy
hours?
versus Katakuri. Oh, lasted 14 hours. Luffy versus Katakuri lasted 14.
Where did you find that? Hold on.
That's what people on Reddit are saying.
Well, I'm on Reddit. It says 12 and a half.
Wait. He didn't use it, or at least he didn't in the manga, because Luffy didn't fight Cracker the entire 11 hours as Bound Man. Okay, so, wait, 12 and a half. Where are you seeing that?
Wait, what the... Hold on.
Okay, it's somewhere between 11 and 14 hours.
It says...
It looks like Cracker's fight was actually 11 hours. Big Mom with no memories was beaten by Queen in 2 hits, and Kaido one-shotted Luffy after Gear 4 after his Katakuri fight. I thought it was like 5 hours. Yeah, no, apparently it was 11 and 14 for, or 12 or 14 for Katakuri or something. As for the thing with Big Mom, yeah, I think that was because, I don't know, because she didn't have her memories. It's not like she was using hockey, but like, you would think her, I guess it shows that a commander, even Yonko Commander 2, with all of their power in one shot, I guess, could potentially knock out an Emperor with no hockey defenses up or anything, even with the tough skin. I mean, obviously we can't use, like, I would say the closest thing we saw, because we can't really count that the same way as Luffy when he tried to punch Big Mom with his hockey, because Big Mom was on guard at the time, if I remember right. As for, like, the only other thing we have to try to scale that sort of defense with, not counting the fights at Wano, like, actually from the whole Cake arc, would be Brook, and Brook obviously wasn't even able to penetrate the skin at all. Like,
nope.
Otherwise, there's not really a whole lot to go off of. As far as, how, I mean, if we're just going off just how tough Big Mom's skin is, then it gives us an idea, but, like, or how tough Big Mom is in general, because it was a bludgeoning blow, so I don't know if that's any different, but, like, I don't know. That's weird to scale, a little bit. It's a little weird to scale. But, I mean, at the same time, Queen wasn't exactly weak, because, like, I kind of see Queen as similar to, like, Judge's strength a little bit. I see them in the same, maybe just because they're both in MADS, but I see them as similar in the sense that they were, like, both scientists and stuff, and that's basically where the bulk of their power comes from. But something else that doesn't make sense is, like, Luffy should be, like, back in Udon, he should have been stronger than Queen, you would think, if Katakuri... You see, it doesn't make sense, because a stronger, trained-up Luffy, with his Devil Fruit back, tries to punch Queen. Queen blocks the attack before Luffy gets his power, like, up. Before he trains up more. How does that even happen? How does Queen block the attack when Luffy is that much stronger now? It doesn't make any sense. Because that would mean that Katakuri would have to be weaker than Queen. Or Kaido's Yonko Commander 2.
It like that, that's a little weird, isn't it?
I don't get it. Because if he was going to be... It shouldn't be. But it would mean that Udon Luffy at that time would have to be. But then Luffy went up against Big Mom. So I don't know. Side question, but how long have you been reading / watching One Piece? I started when Punk Hazard arc was in the manga. I started reading it when I was in... I think I was like 10, 9. I might have been 9. I think I was 9 years old when I started. And I actually started with the freaking 4Kids dub before I started reading the manga and realized there was a vast difference the same year. I actually started reading the manga from the library when I was in school because we had it. And they also had it at the library in town, which my grandmother would take me to on the weekends. And I was 9 or 10, so about 20 years-ish.
I started it much later.
Yeah, she's more recent. I got her into it a couple years ago. But, yeah, I was like 9 or 10 So almost 20. I'm 28, so 20 minus. So yeah, 19 years. About.
Math.
Yeah, 19 years. So yeah, back when Yeah, I don't remember the exact arc we were in. I think I picked it up back at Whiskey Peak was when I started reading the manga. Was it? But we were. I don't remember. I started in 2019 when it was around Whole Cake, I think. Yeah, it's never too late to start, man. At any point.
Is that around the time when I started?
Yeah, that's about when I got you into it. Well, you didn't even want to watch it. You're like, it's so long. I don't want to sit through this. And I got you to watch it. You're like, oh my god, why didn't we watch it sooner? It was funny.
And now we're rewatching it.
Yeah, we've literally watched it. Like, I've watched through the whole series with her like 2 or 3 times now. And we're watching through it again. Just to watch it. And we've read the whole series.
My choice.
We are literally reading the series as we're rewatching it and like rereading
I'm
it.
comparing along the way the differences between the manga and the anime. Because I'm trying to keep around the same... Oh, bumped the mic again. Around the same area in the manga and in the anime while we're watching and reading it.
Yeah.
So it's easier to compare.
I've just been reading it with her because we just sit there and read it together when we have nothing better to do. So we'll just sit there and read through it or whatever.
It gives us ideas for videos.
It also gives us something to watch while we're eating dinner. So, because we'll sit there and...
It's really fun to watch while we're eating dinner, actually.
Yeah, we'll just sit there and eat dinner and watch it and where we're at. Especially if, like, it's kind of, it kind of just depends, I guess, a little bit. But, like...
We're just wrestler right now.
Yeah, we're watching through the dub portion of it at the moment, but, like... I guess regardless.
Oh, there are
really
new
matter,
dub episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah. They just put up more.
I mean, regardless, we watched both versions through, but it's easier for her to watch the dub than the sub. For me, I can watch the sub without like watching because I can understand Japanese.
I'm trying to
a pretty
learn
good extent,
Japanese.
like,
It's not very easy, but I'm doing my best.
it's not like my Japanese that amazing. I can understand, but I can't like I can hold a little bit of a convo, but like my like actual like writing skills and stuff are like that of like an elementary schooler, to be honest. Because I took Japanese when I was in high
I'm using
school.
Duolingo, and it's just really hard to remember. Like, some of the characters look really similar, but they mean different things, and they always get scrambled up in my brain, and I always mess them up.
Yeah, and she asked me for help a lot. Like,
Especially
she got pretty far,
the smiley faces. She and the other one.
smiley face.
Yeah,
She...
that.
Do it again?
Hold on, I'll just
Show me.
show you. Hold on, let me pull up Duolingo right quick.
Sorry, I'm like hungry and haven't slept, so when you're drawing stuff on your fingers, I'm not
Hold
really...
on, I got you. Where is it? It's not in this section. It's over here.
The katakana?
This one
Yeah.
and that one.
So yeah, katakana. So she and Sue. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and there's other ones like that too. There's
Yeah.
this so and
Exactly. Japanese is really hard.
Mm.
That's what I was telling her. It's hard to write it, especially with the kanjis, but like
yeah, it's
actually speaking
so
it's
and
easier.
is another one because it's the same character. It's just flipped around.
Yeah.
Why did they do that?
She's actually getting somewhat like better memorization, whether she thinks so or not, than me with a lot of like Japanese characters at this point. Because like I don't write it a lot. Like when I was in high school, I was a lot better with it because I took Japanese 4 times in a row, and that's because I failed it 3 out of 4 times. But I did learn it because
for what it's worth, I failed German.
Well, the reason I learned it is because we were only allowed to speak in Japanese in my Japanese class. My Japanese teacher is named Miss Shiga. She was kind of a bitch. I'm not gonna lie. She was mean.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm
she
calling
was-
her out like that.
I am calling her out because she was. I mean, like she was cool sometimes, but like most of the time she was mean. Like this.
What if she sees this?
I don't care. I never had so many homework assignments for a class before. But and I don't know why I kept retaking it because I needed a language, and at the same, I wanted to learn it. Like I did learn to speak it, and this is what irritated her because the reason I failed is because I refused to do the homework. Because the homework was she would give us a single character, right? Like just take any hiragana, katakana, kanji, whatever. She would give us that character, write what it sounds or means at the top of the page, and there would be these little boxes, right, all through the
gosh.
page. There would be 200 little boxes. She would make us write 200 times, and she would give us 10 of these to take home and do. This is like the equivalent of Bart Simpson writing "I will not do whatever" on the chalkboard 50 times, except imagine that times literally 2,000 with one character.
Oy.
And when I came to class, she would put me in the freaking hallway, and I would sit there and have to do the assignment.
You have to do the homework as
I wasn't the only
schoolwork.
person failing this class either. Like, majority of the class failed. There was literally a girl, and rest in peace, because she's no longer, she was one of my friends. Her name was Kaz, and she was in this class with me, and she could speak Japanese before we ever took this class.
There's another train coming.
Yeah, sorry. She was fluent. She was having a conversation with Miss Shiga when we first started, and I didn't know anything the first time
Didn't you
around.
write sushi on your name tag?
Yeah, I did. I wrote it in katakana, which is incorrect, but I wrote it in katakana because I didn't know any better, and she thought it was funny, but like I didn't get it. She just gave us like these sets of alphabet. She gave us hiragana, katakana, and the dirty marks, and she threw it in front of us, and I was like, okay. She's like, write your name from the katakana chart in, on the card I gave you and put it on your desk, because the katakana, obviously, which you guys probably, some of you probably aware that it's it's the way you can take Western or other culture stuff and then write in Japanese that they don't have in their language or way to say it, whatever. Pretty much, that's probably not the total correct way of describing it, but you get what I mean. So that's how you're supposed to write your name. If you're a Westerner, you write it in katakana. So I did write my name properly afterwards, but I wrote out sushi on the note card because I thought it was funny. Because I saw it was very easy. It was like two symbols, and I could just put su and shi, and then I just sat it on the desk. And then she was like, haha, very funny. Basically, what's your real name down? I'm like, I did. Yeah, it wasn't fun. I sat in the hallway a lot doing that homework, and Kaz failed it too, even though she could speak it twice. She eventually passed it. Didn't take Japanese 2. I actually passed it on the third go. The fourth go I was taking Japanese 2, and Japanese 2 I dropped out. I ended up dropping out of high school. I have a college degree, but I dropped out of high school because I got sick of high school. And I was retaking a couple different classes multiple times because I ended up I don't know, I wasn't really big on school at the time. It wasn't a great upbringing. But ultimately, I turned out alright, put it that way. And then I did nothing with my college degree. But yeah, that's my story of how I learned Japanese.
There you go.
I also had to come back for detention quite a bit. That was not fun either. There was actually one time, funnily enough, in detention where there was this bottle of apple cider that was like sitting on the desk. I think there's some girl in there with me in detention, and she took us to the teacher's lounge to do her assignments, like after school, and I didn't want to be there, but she left the room.
What about apple cider?
Well, the apple cider was expired, and it was like non-alcoholic, and it turned alcoholic. It fermented. And she like jokingly was like, "I'm gonna go drink this." Then she didn't come back.
And she didn't come back.
No. She just left.
Did she actually drink it?
I don't know. She didn't come back. I just left at the time that I was supposed to be allowed to leave. My mom came and got me, and I left.
What?
I don't know.
even know what to say to that.
Well,
got me.
there's more to that story, but I can't tell the rest of it on YouTube or I'll get in trouble. So I'm not doing that. But that was pretty much the whole thing. That's not. I probably shouldn't even have said there was more to it because now it's just gonna sound weird. But it's not anything involving Miss Shiga, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, basically that's high school sucked. So.
Yeah. I didn't like high school either.
It was very underwhelming too, because I remember when I got pulled into, I got pulled into the office by my I think it was 11th, 10th. I was between 10th and 11th when I dropped out. I was taking 10th and 11th grade courses, even though I should have been 12th, and I ended up getting pulled to the office after getting in trouble for. It was funny. I got pulled to the principals or the vice principals because I punched my brother my actual brother. I was walking with my then girlfriend at the time through the hallway, and me and my brother would fight
I
a
like
lot at
this
home.
story.
So yeah, so he was eating pizza, got pizza sauce on his hand, and just being an asshole, he just smears pizza sauce on my face. So I punch him in the face, and like as a reaction, which he probably knew I would do. And I get called up to the office, and the vice principal, Fazio, I think was his name, I think. He pulled me into the office. I only ever saw him this one time, but he brings me in there. My grandfather is there. I was actually in school all day too. This wasn't like I got called right in. Like they didn't separate us or anything. Me and Sid, we both went to class. It was my brother. We both went to class, and I don't think either one of us thought anything of it. But the reason they pulled me in is because they had cameras, and apparently they saw on the cameras that I punched my brother, and they brought me in, and they were just like, so yeah, since you can't punch your brother, you're gonna have to be suspended. My mom, he calls my mom, my grandfather being there because I was living at my grandparents at the time. She's just like, can I just handle this? I know they're my kids. And then he's just like, no, sorry, since it happened at school, we can't let you handle it. I was like, oh god, freaking come on, man.
You get suspended.
Yeah, so basically I got suspended for punching my own brother in the face in school in the hall for smearing pizza sauce on me. And yeah, at the time that I was in there, he told me yeah, I know. But he told me that I told him I was thinking about dropping out while I was in there. So I said I really don't care, suspend me. And what he told me was like, you'll never amount to anything. I'm like, I'm just gonna get my GED. And he's just like, you won't even be able to do it. Like, you barely do well in your own classes now or whatever. Like, the book is like this thick, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm gonna do that. So I dropped out. And there was also another thing with it. It was some personal issues, but ultimately, I ended up dropping out over it because this is gonna sound ridiculous, but I had an issue with my mother's new, like, husband at the time. Not husband, it was like boyfriend at the time. And it's a really long story. I'm not going to explain all of it, but long story short, they wanted $10,000 when I was staying at my grandparents for me to continue to go to high school there. So my grandparents were not going to pay it. It was $10,808 because I was supposedly, since I wasn't living with my mother, my grandparents didn't have custody of me at the time, and I was still like 16. They were like, or 17, I think. I don't remember. I was somewhere in that age range. They were just like, because I think I dropped out at 17. They were just like, oh, well, you can't continue going here, even though you're living with your grandparents, until they get custody of you. It's either that or they pay $10,000. It's like, well, I'm going to be an adult in like a year anyway. So it's like, what's the point? So this essentially added up to me being like, all right, just fuck this. I'm dropping out. And then I did. And then I did nothing for like 2 years with my life, or 3 years or something. And then when I turned like 20 or 21, I went and got, no, that's not right. I was 20. No, I was on 19. I was 19 or 20. It was 17. It was 2 years. So yeah, no, it was 2 years where I didn't do shit. And then I went and got my GED. And then I went to college afterwards. I got my GED with like barely doing anything. I didn't hardly study. And then recently I went and got hers because she dropped out too. And then she didn't even study at all. And she was barely awake for the test. And she still passed it.
I was really tired.
I have come to the conclusion that they will pass you on the GED if you can write your name on it. I have come, at least here, and I took it in a different state at the time. But like, I have come to that conclusion. And college...
It was really easy.
College was a lot harder, though, to be honest. But I actually cared about college because at that time I actually understood and had a reason to care, and I was paying for it. So I got a scholarship and stuff. So I mean, that was different. But that's basically that whole thing with that, I guess. Because I went and got an associate's, then went and got a bachelor's. And I kind of wish I hadn't, because it's like I went from like the most worthless, like, and I went from getting a finance degree to getting to basically not using it at all, and then getting ASE certified, and then working as a mechanic for forever. It was stupid. Like, I don't know why I bothered. But yeah, that was all that, basically. But Richard has an Oda level backstory.
True.
It goes a lot deeper than that.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to tell all of it because it goes like way worse. I just don't like there's a lot more to
I
it.
just don't know what's okay to say and what's gonna be.
Yeah, it would literally.
It's a gray area.
It goes deeper. She's heard it all, so she knows. She probably knows why I don't really want to tell. So a lot of it's not even YouTube appropriate. I'll be honest.
No.
But I managed to bring my life into like a decent enough state at this point. It was pretty crap for most of it, but it's okay now for the most part. I think. I mean, I guess it depends on your standards of okay, I guess. I mean, I'm okay with it. I don't know, maybe somebody else wouldn't be.
I'm okay with it.
No. I like it. But yeah, it's kind of crazy. World do some crazy shit to you growing up. That's kind of part of why I resonate with the story so much.
Do you two read any manga other than One Piece? I can see other anime memorabilia in the camera.
Yeah, we actually read a lot of stuff, to be honest.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest, though, if I had to say my favorite one, or one of them, One Piece is my favorite by far. But if I had to say, like, other favorites, I mean, I read, like, obviously, like, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Dragon Ball, you know, stuff. I read Naruto, I read, you know, all that main shonen stuff. But I also read a lot of ecchis. So, like, High School DxD and stuff like that. Interestingly enough, actually...
Oh, jeez, no, be careful.
I will be careful.
We'll get
She
banned.
She got me this for our anniversary. I'm gonna cover it up because it's not.
You're
YouTube
not
appropriate.
covering it the whole way.
I covered it enough.
We're gonna get banned.
But yeah, there's a lot of other stuff that we also both read. We both read pretty much the same stuff. I mean, she has like a long list on her phone of like manga and anime we've read and watched.
And another list of ones that we're supposed to read and watch.
Yeah, it's like a pretty extensive list at this point. It's really long. Rhea's Supremacy.
I got one too, but it's over there.
Yeah, she actually got one too.
It's right there.
It's not like it's just me. I'm not gonna try and go grab it. But yeah, it was pretty cool. You should have seen the messages between her and the artist she got to make this on Etsy.
And the other many artists that I messaged trying to find somebody that would freaking do it because it's impossible. Messaged like 50 freaking people. Only 2 of them responded. Well, a lot of them responded, but some of them weren't very nice.
Yeah, some of them were like, that's inappropriate. She told me after she got them, and like had them say, she was just like, oh, she showed me the messages, and I was just like, well, they're getting paid.
Yeah, exactly. All you gotta do is print a picture.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, it's not like you asked them to print out like tentacle porn or something. I mean, you
that's
just,
a naughty word.
Whatever, you just printed, you know, it's just topless.
Mm?
But they were pretty offended by that.
The one lady I got them from was like really eager to do them. She was like, "Oh yeah, hell yeah, let's do this.
Yeah,
you want them done now? Let's do them now. I'll do them now." I was like, "Hell yeah, come on."
Yeah, it was an
adventure.
It was interesting. I don't know. I wasn't actually there to see it. She does this stuff when it's a surprise. She'll just do it and like not say anything. And then I'll just get it and be like, oh, she's got me other cool stuff too. I don't know where it is. She's also got me like sets of like Dragon Balls for.
Oh, that
like,
is out in the living room.
Yeah, it is out in the living room. Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. She got me like
table
these.
out there. Oh, careful!
I forgot my phone was hooked up.
I almost fell.
Yeah. Hold up.
And I cracked my spine. Ugh. Hold on a sec. Sorry. Hold on, I think you found him. Please don't fall.
Yeah, like she got me like these. A little bit screw the back. Yeah, she got me like these or whatever and stuff for
the box is a little messed up.
That's my fault. Because when we moved in,
get your
put it on the
cash stack. Show me max cash tag.
That's RuneScape. It's not anime. It has an. I don't know if you guys ever play RuneScape, but like that's I used to play it a lot, and I would play it. I don't know. I used to stream it on Twitch at one point, and I don't know. I just stopped doing it. It was a long story with my brother and a friend of ours. I don't know if you guys know anything about RuneScape and the gold on there, but people kind of trade it like crypto. I used to only indulge in harem animes when I was younger. I now read basically everything. Also, I have those Dragon Balls as a gift from my brother years ago. Yeah, they're really neat gifts and stuff. I like them.
I got you a little Kiba and a Blue Eyes too.
Yeah, you did get me a Kaiba and a Blue Eyes. Cause I still play a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh. So that's what I thought. It was interesting how many people got into Yu-Gi-Oh after Master Duel came out too.
Yeah, it's crazy. It like multiplied.
Yeah, because they were. I know why. It's because they're advertising it like any
Yeah.
other gacha game, and it's not. Like Yu-Gi-Oh's been a gacha game since since it came out. Like it's the second Yu-Gi-Oh started, it was a gacha game. Like booster packs were a thing. So like yeah, but I mean it doesn't have to be. You can buy singles. Konami tried real hard to make sure that was accurate too, because like you can forge cards in the game out of whatever they call them, the like ultra rare and super rare.
The points.
The point thing system they have. I don't remember what it's called, but I think that's interesting. But then at the same time, I don't see a huge point to playing it over the TCG and just playing like EDO Pro or Dueling Book, because like I don't know, I just don't really see. I could get all the cards for free. I can build whatever deck I want.
And you don't have to worry about cards that weren't added.
Whereas then you can also pick if you want to play by TCG or OCG rulings.
True.
So yeah, but otherwise there's a ton of other stuff too. Like there's also a lot of like sign-ins and stuff we've watched. So there's also we've watched some really weird things, and then we've watched some stuff that's like really good. It really depends. Do you know the Magic the Gathering manga? It's called Destroy All of Humanity. It can't be regenerated. That's the actual full name. I have never heard of that. I haven't like actually played Magic much. Like I used to play Duel Masters when I was younger, which sounds ridiculous, but like it's actually made by the same people who made Magic, and the goal of that game apparently was to get people into Magic from that game. I don't know how that's supposed to work, but that was their idea. They saw Yu-Gi-Oh was doing super well, so they were like, okay, let's make a game that that we can use to bridge people into Magic. So why didn't you just make an anime for Magic then? You could. I mean, clearly they must have done that at some point, because it sounds like or at least a manga.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'll read it. I've tried to get into the game before, but like, I don't know. It's weird when I play Yu-Gi-Oh. I've got so used to like the fast-paced mechanics that like building mana and stuff. Dude, I had the game. I had that game. That's how I actually got into play. I had the cards too. I actually have them somewhere, don't I? Are they here?
I think they're in that Naruto box.
Yeah, I have them here
I know
somewhere.
where that is if you want me to grab it.
No, don't worry about it. I actually, where is it?
Over there.
Oh, I know where it is. I still have some of those cards. Hold up.
Why don't you just bring the whole box over?
There are these like random ass Naruto collectible things. I don't even know what the hell they're for.
I used to collect Pokemon cards, but now they're all gone. I didn't know how to play the game though.
I'm shocked that I still had these.
I still don't really know how to play the game.
This isn't nearly all.
We watched something about it, but I just don't get it.
Yeah, these were supposed to be out of like a tin that I got a while back, and they're like all mixed up. But like, yeah, I still have all these cards. Like, I remember like in the game, I think this one was actually like a pretty good one from what I remember. Like I don't even know if you could see that.
I got a Skeeto.
It's gonna be hard to get it to focus. Yeah, I remember like the lights had some kind of mad advantage on the Game Boy game.
There it goes.
Get that. But yeah, I'm actually shocked that I even still had these, because like they're at my grandparents' house, and they randomly gave me a bunch of cards. I collected Pokemon cards, but then I accidentally put them in my washer and ruined 75% of my collection. I was devastated.
I
Dude, that
had
sucks.
mine in a lunchbox, and they were all fine, but then the whole lunchbox just disappeared. I don't know what happened to it.
Of like probably like 30,000 plus Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
The thing is, I had them in a spot where I remembered where they were. They were under my bed at my mom's house. And then one day they just weren't anymore. And I don't know where they went.
That's the thing. Like, in the closet behind us, there literally is a collection of like 30,000 plus Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Oh, geez, yes.
I'm not even exaggerating. A lot of them are just bulk. But like, I have some.
I think it was actually
ones.
a Pokemon lunchbox that I had them in. It was a metal one.
I had some decent Pokemon cards, but I don't ever know what happened to them. I had like, I don't know if they were any good or like valuable or not. I had like Mew and Zapdos and a bunch of other ones, but I don't remember if they were the good ones.
I had a Mewtwo, like one of the first Mewtwo's that they made, but it was like bent. That one wasn't in very good shape.
I had the one you're
Had
talking
water
about.
damage.
Was it the hollow one, right? The one
Yeah, the one with the pink.
Yeah, the little.
border.
It looked like it had like bubble sort of hollow behind it.
I think so. Yes.
Yeah, I had that one too. Mine was in decent shape, but I don't know where it went. I had a.
Same.
It's kind of funny because I have another story from elementary school actually. Okay, this is gonna. I don't know if I should be telling this one because the guy that this happened with, he's dead. A lot of the high school like friends and people I had in high school, a lot of them died because there's like a big heroin issue around here in this area with like, and it's depressing to be honest because like a lot of the people I went to school with got hooked on this shit and like died of like a fentanyl overdose because it's just rampant throughout most of the country, but this area is like really bad with it. And they a couple of them I was like actually really good friends with, like the girl I mentioned earlier, like yeah, I was good friends with her, but like at the same, she would like come over to my house and stuff, but like this kid, I don't feel quite as bad because I wasn't quite as bad with him. Yeah, it's fine, man. I mean, it's been a few years at this point since the last one happened. I've come to terms with most of it. I mean, it was really weird because like Sam was one of them, but oh yeah, man, it was nice meeting you too, man.
Yeah, thanks for sticking around.
We'll catch you on the next stream for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's all good because like it happens. It's life. But I mean, the most recent one was one that was actually like one of my best friends like a couple years ago. But he didn't die from heroin. He died from somebody killing him. He was murdered. So that was different because he was I don't know the full story, but I think it was somebody killed him over weed, if I remember. Because I think the story was somebody fronted him an ounce of weed or something, and he didn't pay it back in like a week, so they beat him up and left his mutilated body in this house.
It was an abandoned house.
An abandoned house, and then his family found out because he was like missing, and then they found his body. And yeah, that's basically how that went. But that was the last one a couple years ago, and that one I was really screwed up over that one for a while, and it still kind of hurts to think about that one particularly, but yeah, that one was crazy. All the other ones though, they were dope, and two of them, it was really weird because I had particularly Sam. I used to live at a buddy's house for a while, and Sam would come over and hang out with us. And like 2 weeks later, after he had hung out with us, is when I found out he died, and it was ridiculous. But like, really, in the case of Gunner, the one I was talking about initially, he was kind of a dick. And I don't want to talk bad on the dead, but he stole a bunch of my Yu-Gi-Oh cards when I was on the bus going home. He did. He stole like a stack of like really good like first edition like starter deck Kaiba cards and shit, like stuff that I had. Like cards that if I had them today, they were actually in good shape. Like, he stole a first edition starter deck Kaiba Blue Eyes that was actually legitimately not playground played. That would have been worth like $4,000 or some shit today if it was like mint or whatever. At least like, I don't remember how high of a PSA you have to get. But I know the card's worth like a dumb amount of money just for, being in decent shape. But he got it. So, and I tried to get it back, and he claimed up and down, oh, I didn't take it. He took it. I know he took it because he was like, hey, let me look at your cards. I was like, okay. He was sitting on the seat across from me, so I let him look at it. Looking at it, and I'm just like, okay. Gives it back. I don't check it because I didn't see him do anything. But I guess I wasn't watching hard enough because when I got off the bus, I go and I look at the stack and I'm like, I'm missing a bunch of cards. And at the time, the Blue Eyes wasn't worth as much, but it was, the cards still had some value, the ones he took, because he took some cards at the time, like, I think he took an Exodia that was like $50 or something, like a God card that was like, he took like probably like $150 total or something worth of cards. I don't know what it was at at that time, I'm guessing, because I was like, I think 10 or 11 or something. I think I was 10, because I think we were in 5th grade. So yeah, he took like those, but today, he took a stack from me, basically, today. But yeah, it happened. I mean, I still don't think he deserved what he got. I mean, even if it's self-inflicted, but at the same time, he was the only one that I wasn't, like, quite as upset over. Like, I was friends with him after, like, we may have high school stuff, but, like, knowing what he took from me, and knowing how, I still feel bad, but I also kind of, I don't know. It's not right for me to be, I'm not going to say anything negative about the guy that much. I'm not going to try to. He wasn't that bad when he grew up. He was just an asshole as a kid, so I'm not going to hold something against him as a kid. It's just, I still wish I had those cards. That's all I can say. I would sell them. I would probably have sold them at this point and collected the money. But yeah. It is what it is.
And that's how kids are.
Yeah.
They can be little monsters at times.
I mean, I wasn't much better. So I can't really say anything. So,
like I said, that's how kids are.
Anyway. Well, I'm kind of tired. I'm going to be honest at this point. Haven't really slept much. I'm hungry too. I'm going to make some food at this point. I might go ahead and head off here, guys. Go ahead and head to make some food and go to bed. My voice getting
What
a little
time
bit
is
funky.
it?
9 and almost 9 in the
Ooh.
morning or so.
Dang.
So yeah, we haven't slept in quite a bit actually. But can't really do much, as you guys are probably noticing as it gets more closer to like actually being day.
It gets quite noisy here.
It's quite noisy outside, so that's why we record at night. It's funny because people are always asking if she's high when we record videos.
I'm not. I'm just tired.
Yeah, it was. We had fun, for sure. But yeah, she's just tired. We record at like 3 a.m., 4 a.m., and then she's just like, freaking tired. But yeah. Anyway.
It's like when I get to a certain point, the light kind of like is really bad on my eyes because I'm so tired, and I look kind of squinty, but I don't think I'm squinting that much. It just looks bad.
Yeah. It's probably time we actually go make some food and get some sleep.
I promise I'm not high though.
She's Anyway, well, it was good chatting with all you guys, and
yeah, thanks for coming.
Yeah, thanks for sticking around with us. Everything we appreciate.
Even when we got off topic.
Yeah, a lot. Anyway, have a good day. Oh, day, night, wherever you are.
Have a good day or night.
Peace.
Bye.